Chapter 161. Will wants to find medicinal materials in the Mushu rainforest. Mushu rainforest is one of the largest rainforests in the eastern continent. There are thousands of years of precious medicinal materials growing in the rainforest. Many materials that are useless to ordinary people are rare treasures in the eyes of wizards. The medicinal materials in the army are commonly used, rare and precious, and relatively speaking, if you want to find something of real value, you have to go deep into the Mushu rainforest yourself. The idea is good. Will is also eager to act. The issue is, I killed the commander-in-chief of the Green Essence. I must be targeted by the Green Essence. I must not leave Kawa City at will. The Green Elves are best at assassination. Even Will had a hard time spotting the hidden Green Master. If he is secretly calculated, it will be difficult for him to survive. What if I issue some missions in the army? Give me the corresponding things, and you can get rewards such as potions, breathing methods, and personal guidance from me. After thinking about it, Will thought it was a good idea. So he immediately called Commander Kylan and told her the proposal. Commander Kylan immediately implemented Will's proposal. On the second day, the specific arrangement and promulgation form of the task were quickly passed to Will's hands one by one. One by one, the bounty tasks were written on the taskbar by him. The corresponding rewards were also hung up. But in a few days, many items were submitted to his hands. It seems that this idea is still good. Will thought excitedly, a person's power is limited after all. Only by uniting the masses can miracles be created. To harvest materials, all he needs to pay is just a little knowledge. It can be said to be quite cost-effective. In this way, the monthly income of magic stones can reach as many as 60. If this situation can be maintained, 3 years may allow me to earn enough magic stones for advanced third-class apprentices. Thinking about it, Will grinned. Master Will. A man in full armor rushed into the gate of the villa, shouting anxiously. In the room, Will hugged several maids to make out. With a longer lifespan and more magic stones collected, Will is finally in the mood to have fun. No need to race against time to become stronger. Startled by the shouting that suddenly came to mind, the little brother, who was already full of fighting spirit, fell down instantly. Will's face suddenly collapsed. If you bother me for some trivial hours, don't blame me for hitting you. He has said many times that if there is no urgent matter, he must not be disturbed. You can only let the servants report. It is expressly forbidden to break into the house and yell like this. Putting on her pajamas, she opened the door angrily. Lying on the railing, glaring at the shouting people in the hall, desperately suppressing the anger in his heart, he said, "Rove, what's the matter with you?" Rove, the captain of the personal guard of Commander Terry. Possessing the strength of a great knight, he is one of the most trusted people of Commander-in-Chief Taylor. If Rove can be found, there must be something very urgent. That's why Will patiently questioned himself. If it was anyone else, Will would have had someone call him out. Can't even see his face. May never see again. Master Will, I'm sorry to disturb your rest. Rove's face was very anxious. I have something very important to inform you. Oh? I hope you don't lie to me. Will climbed over the railing and jumped down the hall. Take Rove into the conversation room. As soon as the door was closed, Rove said anxiously, Master Will, we found the trace of the driver of the golden-winged giant eagle. Commander Tai Li and Commander Light have already ambushed there. The opponent is powerful. We need your help. The golden-winged giant eagle is one of the most famous summoned beasts of the Green Elves. In the entire Green Spirit family, there are only 3 who can control the golden-winged giant eagle. The fighting strength of the golden-winged giant eagle is similar to that of the green python. But the golden-winged giant eagle can fly, and can also share vision with the beast master. The deployment of troops, marching routes, and locations of food and grass on the human side can be clearly seen by the eyes of the giant golden-winged eagle. Having a golden-winged giant eagle is like having a satellite. For those who do not have it, it is simply a dimensionality reduction blow. The golden-winged giant eagle does not have great strength, and it is not the only summoned beast that can fly. But because of the ability to share vision, it has become the most hated summoned beast on the human side. Even if you pay the life of a commander-in-chief, you must kill it. However, the golden-winged giant eagle flies too high and its eyesight is too good to kill. Rather than killing the golden-winged giant eagle, it is better to kill the beast master. Can you find the trace of the beast master? Will asked in surprise. Master Will, I'll be waiting for you. Rove held Will's hand tightly and pleaded. Will is also very happy to make a contribution to the military. After quickly changing into light leather armor, riding fast horses, he and Rove rushed out of the city gate, and quickly ran towards Commander Taylor and the others. The speed of the horse was very fast, and in a short time, it was already more than 10 kilometers away from Kawa City. In the dense forest, Will and Rove galloped on fast horses. Giant trees were left behind. The branches blocking the way hit them, and bloodstains appeared on the horses. But time is tight, and I can't manage so much. When there were still 5 kilometers away from the place, Rove said, Will pulled the reins. Woo! The sprinting horse stopped roaring. Master Will, time is running out. If you are too late, the beast master will run away. Sensing Will's strangeness, Rove said anxiously, as if he was afraid of Will's repentance. Rove, do you think you can fool me? Will stared at Rove dangerously. From the very beginning, Will noticed Rove's abnormality. When they met, Rove's heartbeat, blood flow rate, and mental state were obviously abnormal. But Will just thought Rove was too nervous and excited, so he didn't take it seriously. After all, the chance of killing the golden-winged giant eagle is too small. But when the two of them left Kava City on horseback, Rove's flaws became more and more suspicious. Do you think I'm following you and can't see your expression, or I'm running fast, so I can't notice your abnormality? You have to play a full set of acting. Will sarcastically said. My lord, I don't understand what you're talking about. Rove pulled the rein, with an ugly expression on his face. Don't tell me. It doesn't matter. If you are a good person and I wronged you, I will be very happy. Will walked towards Rove. Tell me, what is your purpose? Why did you lie to me? Rove's clumsy acting skills couldn't fool Will after he calmed down. Drive. Rove clamped his legs fiercely, trying to escape. But the horse under Rove's feet didn't listen to Rove's order at all, and knelt down while spitting white foam. Will just released a little mental coercion on the horse. Are you really lying to me? Will shook his head in disappointment. Are you collaborating with the Green Elves? It really hurts me to abandon the human position. Since Will came to Kava City, he has been keeping a low profile. Never offended anyone. Therefore, the reason why Rove harmed him was that besides being bought by the Green Spirit, Will couldn't think of any other possibility. Don't confuse us with the Green Elves. A lazy voice sounded from behind Will. 3 people in black robes came out of the dense forest. Stand in a triangle with Will in the middle. Chapter 162. Control the left eye to release pressure, and stun Rove who wants to escape. Will takes a good look at the 3 people surrounding him. Judging from the magic power seen by the Eye of Truth, the 3 of them are all third-class apprentices. One of them, Will knew. The name is Cook, the senior of Ja'Luo Potion Academy. The transplanted magic seed is Lei Hobeo, a third-class apprentice who has awakened his natural ability, and his strength is in the 2nd rank of third-class apprentices. It is said that he is very close to Saurus. The other 2 don't know each other. But through the Eye of Truth, it is evident. The demon seed transplanted by one person is the ground bear. One person's hands are a bit weird, and the demon species doesn't know what it is. Both of them have no awakening innate ability, and they are the weakest among the third-class apprentices. Did Saurus send you here? Will sat on the horse, looking down at Cook and said. Boy, you have offended someone who must never be offended. Cook took out a dagger, and his whole body was entwined with lightning. Hey, our 3 third-class apprentices ran here with great effort just to kill a 2nd-class apprentice? The strong man whose demon seed was a ground bear looked at Will with contempt. Bolin, don't be careless, he is the man who blew up the Snake Man hatching room, escaped from the king-level monsters, and survived the powerful monster hunt. The hands of a thin man gradually turned black, emitting feeling cool. Indeed, in terms of escape, he is the best in the academy. Cook walked towards Will step by step with a dagger in his hand, and the other 2 third-class apprentices spread out to block Will's escape route. They are very confident. Think Will is dead. All they need to be careful is not to let Will escape. After all, Will is famous for his life-saving skills, and here is the Musha Rainforest. Once Will escapes, it will be difficult to find him again. This guy is too timid. He hides in Kawa City and doesn't come out for half a year. I don't know how much time we have wasted. Paulin complained. Cook stood 3 meters away from Will, with the white thunder constantly flashing on his body. Looking at the thunder and lightning wrapped around Cook, Will felt a sense of danger. Thunder and lightning are one of the most powerful forces in the world. In countless myths and legends, thunder and lightning also belong to the highest level of power, and Thor has always been a symbol of strength. Will is strong. His strength far exceeds that of Cook. But the human body is far more fragile than imagined. Cook only needs to electrify Will's head and break through the brain, and he can easily kill Will. Sure enough, you can't underestimate other people, Will said with emotion. Anyone who is pulled out randomly has the power to threaten his life. I'll give you a chance to make a move. Cook stared at Will indifferently, as if looking at a dead person. I'm just saying this to you, I'm willing to forgive you once. Will said to the three of them, you were just instructed by Saurus, stop now and apologize to me, and swear that you will never help Saurus do anything that violates human ethics. Bad thing, I can let you go. The person who wanted to kill him was Saurus. The three people in front of them are just taking orders from Saurus. It wasn't that Will couldn't forgive him if they were willing to repent. After all, Saurus is noble, powerful, and has a bright future. He is an individual and everyone wants to follow him. But one cannot lose one's heart. You can't do bad things for power, or money. Only the remuneration obtained through the hard work of one's own hands is the best. Many people are lost in the temptation of the moment. Extenuating circumstances. Not even Will is immune. After comparing people's hearts, it is not incomprehensible for the behavior of Cook and others. But understanding is understanding. The wicked must be punished. What is this guy talking about? Pauline laughed. Mock, is that guy crazy? Asking us to apologize to him? Mork, whose hands were black and exhaled cold, did not laugh at Will like Pauline. He should be a freshman, right? I remember his demon seed is the left eye. Why didn't he wear a blindfold? Mok's sharp gap was abnormal. The peak second-class apprentice? Pauline was taken aback. So he is a genius? But so what? A genius can beat us? Let's go together and get rid of him. I have a bad feeling. Mork moved, waving his hands and pounced on Will. The lightning all over Cook's body suddenly increased sharply, and his speed suddenly increased. With a roar, Pauline glowed pale yellow, pulled out the great sword on his back, and rushed towards Will. The edge of Cook's thunder touched the horse. The steed under Will's crotch foamed, and his body trembled and fell down. In mid-air, Mok's hands were as black as ink, exuding a cold aura, like the scythe of death. Although Pauline didn't awaken his innate skills, the power of the destroyer demon seed is still very amazing, like a large truck with a load of hundreds of tons rushing at a speed of more than 100 hours. The attack speed of the three was very fast, less than 1/10 of a second, and the fastest one had already entered within 1 meter of Will. Why bother? Will sighed. He really wanted to give the other party a chance to repent. He is very clear about how difficult it is to train a third-class apprentice. Every time a third-class apprentice is killed, it is a huge loss for the human side. However, since you guys don't repent, don't blame me for being cruel. Will's eyes burst into murderous intent. It's a good time to try the new model I just developed. Will's biggest reliance before was the burst mode. It's a pity that as his strength increases, the disadvantages of the burst mode become more and more obvious, and he can no longer keep up with his pace. A year ago, Will began to want to develop a new model. It wasn't until he became a paladin not long ago that he had a clue. Finally, 2 days ago, the new model took shape. Will closed his eyes. In the beginning, it was the heart. Boom, boom, my heart started to speed up. But the acceleration is not fast, far less intense than when using burst mode. After that, it's blood. The beating of the heart accelerated, and the flow of blood naturally accelerated. The blood vessels did not burst due to the accelerated flow of blood, probably because the flow speed of the blood was only a few times that of the normal state. Then, comes the breath. The breathing rate gradually became faster. After the breath, come the muscles. Arm muscles, thigh muscles, abdominal muscles, eye muscles, the peristalsis of muscles has become faster, and the speed of power transmission has also become faster. Finally, it is the acceleration of thinking. The speed of blood, breathing, muscles, and thinking all increased simultaneously. But this one is fast and very unnoticeable. It's just a few times faster. To be precise, it is 1.5 times. Will could clearly feel the countless stabbing pains coming from deep inside his body. His body was under tremendous pressure. It only takes less than 10 seconds, and the pressure is enough to make his body collapse. But all this is worth it. Will's eyes pop open. Acceleration mode, start. Chapter 163. In an instant, time seemed to slow down. It feels almost the same as when using mind acceleration. The difference is that before, the speed of thinking was only accelerated, but this time, the body kept up with the speed of thinking. Although only 1.5 times. Cook's thunder passed through the horse and reached Will. Lightning spread along both feet and flowed to the whole body. It feels like the whole body is numb and crisp, as if there are thousands of ants crawling around on the body. Will glanced at Cook, who was covered in lightning. What a troublesome guy. Cook is the strongest of the three. Its lightning ability is also the most threatening to him. But because Cook is covered with lightning, Will is unwilling to risk getting close to him. Let's deal with that guy first. Those hands feel a bit weird. Will's eyes aimed at Mock, who was rushing towards him in mid-air. The power of life erupted immediately, and a wave of white air gushed out from both feet. Walk towards the clouds. Step hard on the horse's back. Click. The horse's spine was suddenly broken in two, and the middle was sunken. Will's body suddenly rose. A white air wave appeared behind him. After turning on the acceleration mode and using the cloud rushing step, his speed reached a terrifying 1,200 km per hour. Almost in the blink of an eye, Will had arrived in front of Mork. Both feet exploded with vitality, aiming at Mork's chest and kicking them in succession. With every blow, you can hear the sound of cracking bones. After 13 feet passed, Cook's entire chest had been reduced to pieces. Stepping on Cook's head, the cloud rushing step started again. Cook's body slammed into the ground like a cannonball, and Will followed the recoil and shot Pauline rapidly. Will held up the long sword, and on his arms, it seemed to be burning with red flames. Fire slash. With an indomitable momentum, he slashed down with his sword from top to bottom. From the three of them attacking Will together, to Will jumping off his horse and counter-attacking, kicking Mork to death, and cutting towards Pauline, the time was too short. Pauline couldn't react at all. However, years of fighting and countless struggles on the verge of life and death made Pauline's body feel the coming of death. Looking at the approaching Will, Pauline's mind went blank. Underestimate the enemy? Regret? Fear? None at all. There was nothing but emptiness in his mind. But without the need for instructions from the consciousness, Pauline's body, which has experienced many battles, has already moved. Muscles swell, blood vessels burst, and eyeballs pop out. All the magic power erupted at once, and the pale yellow light enveloped Pauline's whole body, burning like a flame. Whoa! Holding the giant sword high in both hands, he stopped Will, who was in the upper air. Boom! Pauline's sword is indeed a good sword. Blocking Will's full blow, it's just a little bent. The sword resisted. Unfortunately, Pauline's body is too fragile. Pauline vomited blood and knelt on the ground. Both legs were broken at the knee, and both arms holding the sword were shattered. Pauline vomited blood clots, stared at Will unwillingly, let out a hoarse roar, and struggled constantly, as if he wanted to stand up and continue fighting. It's really tenacious vitality. Will added a sword, ending Pauline's painful life. Boom! Until now. Mork, who was being used as a stepping stone by Will in mid-air, landed. The other side. Cook's thunder strike landed on the dying horse, and the horse was scorched black and tender, exuding a tempting fragrance. Will raised his sword and threw it at Cook's back. The long sword broke through Cook's heavy lightning and protective magic power, and pierced from the back. But the tip of the sword had only penetrated halfway, and then stopped. The power decays too fast. Will shook his head. After becoming a paladin, although the vitality has undergone a qualitative change, its essence has not changed. It is still only possible to strengthen strength, speed, defense, and other abilities in battle, and cannot use vitality to condense air blades to hurt people, nor can vitality be poured into weapons to strengthen the attack and defense of weapons. Life force, after all, is just a special technique of exerting force. The attack power of throwing a weapon is impossible to compare with holding a weapon and slashing. It was found that the thrown longsword could not seriously injure Cook. Kong Gyunbu started again. The sharp piercing sound hit the surroundings. Behind Will, a cone-shaped air wave appeared. The distance of more than 10 meters is equivalent to non-existence in front of Will, who is moving at the speed of sound. Like teleportation, Will's figure appeared in front of Cook. The palms condensed with white vitality turned into phantoms and enveloped Cook. Cook is worthy of being a third-class apprentice and second-class powerful figure. The magic power surged all over the body, and the thunder exploded. White blinding light enveloped Cook's whole body, and countless high-temperature arcs wrapped around him. Will ignored the thunder and lightning wrapped around Cook, and the rain of palms kept falling on Cook. Cook tried to fight back, but Will's speed was too fast. The speed of movement is comparable to the speed of sound. The attack speed even surpassed double the speed of sound, reaching a terrifying triple the speed of sound. With such a quick attack, the strength and position of each palm are extremely ingenious. This shows that Will has fully controlled the triple speed of sound, and did not give up skills for speed. Ba ba ba. The dense sound, like the explosion of firecrackers, continued to sound from Cook. Cook's body kept retreating. Until there was no way to retreat, he leaned against a towering tree. Since you can't retreat, let me help you. The big tree shook, and the leaves fell like rain. Da-da-da-da-da. Cook's body was embedded in the tree trunk. Will was about to kill Cook in one go, when his movements suddenly stopped and his body froze. It should last 10 seconds, right? Acceleration mode, although this is the first time it is used in combat. But before, Will has calculated many times and experimented many times, and the duration cannot be wrong. But why didn't it work in 5 seconds? Acceleration mode puts a much greater burden on the body than burst mode. Is it because of the use of night martial arts? Will released the acceleration mode. Sure enough, theory and practice are completely different things. No matter how perfect your theory is, no matter how successful your experiment is, when mass-produced on a large scale, countless problems still occur. Fortunately, the opponent this time is only the weakest of the 3 third-class apprentices. If the opponent is a strength comparable to his, the consequences will be disastrous. As soon as the acceleration mode was released, the exhaustion of the body immediately surged up. All over the body, not a single bone, muscle, or blood vessel was intact, and there were bursts of tingling pain. Right now, I can only accelerate blood, muscles, tendons, and other superficial things, but I can't even accelerate the cells, which will cause the cells to overload, so it's no wonder that there are no problems. It's like replacing an ordinary car with a racing engine and running out of the speed of the racing car. Other parts do not change. How could the car not disintegrate? Will's acceleration mode is similar to this one. The engine was changed, the speed was increased, but no other parts were changed. As long as it was used for a little longer, the body would definitely fall apart. My current level can only do this level. When it comes to cells, Will has nothing to do. The acceleration mode is still a baby, and it can be improved, so don't worry. After all, it has only been created for a few days, and it is the first time it has been used in actual combat, so some problems are inevitable. Chapter 164. There are still many things that can be improved in the acceleration mode. Go back and think about it. The movement is too loud, it is not suitable to stay here for a long time. Hey? Will, who was about to leave, suddenly discovered that Cook was not dead yet. Cook's body was embedded in the tree trunk, covered in blood, and all the bones in his body were broken. Looking at Cook who passed out, Will sighed, "Have you punched him hundreds of times? Didn't you kill him?" What he sighed was not how tenacious Cook's vitality was. But although the acceleration mode has greatly accelerated the speed, the weakening of strength and defense is also too great. In the acceleration mode, it will cause a huge load on the body, far exceeding the burst mode. In this case, the vascular muscles are already overloaded and can no longer tense the muscles. When a person exerts force, the muscles will tense and bulge. When a strong person bulges out his 8-pack ABS, it will be fine for ordinary people to beat their ABS with all their strength. And when you relax your body and don't bulge your abdominal muscles, you will vomit blood with a punch. In acceleration mode, Will can't tense his muscles. Strength and defense will naturally drop greatly. Although the acceleration mode is fast, it doesn't last long. The strength and defense have also been greatly weakened. It looks far worse than the burst mode. The problem is that the acceleration mode is compatible with night martial arts. In the acceleration mode, the speed is so much faster, and after using the night martial arts, the attack and defense are far above the burst mode. Although the duration is short, it is still no problem to fight 3 of him in burst mode. Will took the sword and stabbed Cook in the heart. Cook's weak breath disappeared. "Saurus, I won't let you go. Will clenched his fists tightly, looked in the direction of the academy, and swore. 3 third-class apprentices, just died like this. If Saurus hadn't tempted them with power and wealth, they might have become good people and made greater contributions to mankind. Will buried his hatred for Saurus deep in his heart. Because he knew that with his current strength, it was impossible to take revenge. His combat power may be above Saurus. But there is someone behind Saurus. Will can't do such a stupid thing as sending him to death for nothing. After burying the 3 of Cook, Will returned to Kava City with the fainted Rove on his back. After talking about Rove's betrayal to Commander Ty Lee, Commander Terry was furious. He knelt down and apologized to Will himself, and offered to hand Rove over to Will, so that Will could dispose of it as he pleased. Will refuses. He has no interest in punishing Rove for abusing him. Rove's reason for betraying him does not need to be interrogated, it is nothing more than power and wealth. Will has seen too much of the dark side of human nature. So disappointed in humanity? Not at all. Humans are complex creatures, and most of the time, we choose to be good. When the temptation reaches a certain level, it is only a matter of time before one falls. Will believes that there is no real saint in this world. It's just that the temptation wasn't great enough. Even for himself, countless dark thoughts have emerged in the depths of his heart. It's just all suppressed. Will didn't know when he would fall into darkness, obsessed with power and power. I'll leave it to you to deal with Rove. I won't ask, and don't tell me. Will said to Commander-in-Chief Taylor. Commander-in-Chief Ty Lee can kill Rove decisively, execute him Ling Chi, or let him go secretly. As long as Rove is no longer in his sight. As long as Rove's disappearance is no longer in his ears. Will doesn't care. It will be as if this thing never existed. After Commander Ty Lee ordered someone to drag Rove down, he said to Will, Master Will, His Royal Highness 7th Princess would like to see you. What the hell? There's another princess? Will said with a headache. Princess Susha came to Kawa City with the fleet today, and it hasn't been long since she arrived. It's not surprising that you don't know. Commander-in-Chief Ty Lee said. A princess left not long ago, and now another one is coming. Will held his forehead, isn't it going to take dozens of nights away this time? I hope not. Commander Ty Lee sighed. The last time Princess Koronai took away 20 knights, it was already a small half of the number of knights in the Kawa City army. After more than half a year, the missing people still haven't been able to make up. If Princess Susha took another 20 people away this time, the number of knights in the army would be the lowest in decades. After all, ordinary soldiers are easy to replenish, but knights are rare. Those who can educate knights are usually nobles. How many nobles are willing to join the army? Although Commander Ty Lee has been working hard to cultivate talents, most of those who join the army are adults and have already passed the optimal age for practicing breathing techniques. No matter how good the talent is, it's the end of becoming a quasi-knight. Master Will, the 3 princesses are waiting for you, do you want to go and have a look? Neither Will nor the princess can be provoked by the head coach Terry. Needless to say Will, even Lid was easily defeated. Princess? Not to mention the noble status, the strength is also top-notch. If it weren't for Princess Koronai's strength, Commander Terry would not have allowed her to take away 20 knights. Lead the way. Will didn't want to embarrass Commander Terry either. Besides, this is the Amona Empire, and it is their territory, so we still need to show some face. Sit in the carriage and walk towards the Commander-in-Chief's mansion. Groups of soldiers patrolled around the mansion. Get out of the carriage. Will noticed that the faces of the soldiers around him were very ugly. His legs were trembling, sweating profusely, his back was facing the gate all the time, and he didn't even dare to look back, as if there was some terrifying monster living in the mansion. The rise is too big. Will frowned. With the hall of the mansion as the center, within a radius of several hundred meters, there is a powerful spiritual force. This spiritual power can make all creatures with insufficient mental power feel fear from the bottom of their hearts, and desperately want to stay away from this place. It is a flashy spiritual skill. It's good for repelling insects. Leaving Commander Terry outside the door, Will walked in. Although very disdainful of the princess's approach. But what the princess did really shocked Will. The spiritual skill of dispelling life is really not very powerful. It consumes too much and is too ostentatious. It is easy to arouse the resentment of others, but it is also the best way to show one's strength. Can you dispel people whose mental strength is below the second-class apprentice? As long as your mental power is not up to the level of a second-class apprentice, as long as you enter the range of life dispelling, no matter how powerful your combat power is, no matter how strong your will is, you will not be able to resist it. The peak strength and mental strength of the Commander-in-Chief Tali's Great Knight are already much stronger than ordinary people. But just standing on the verge of the dispersal of life, they are all under tremendous pressure. In this situation, let alone fighting, it is already considered good to be able to stand still and not run away. Anyone who can continuously release this kind of large-scale mental skills must have reached the peak of a third-class apprentice, much stronger than me now. Thinking, Will quickened his pace. Chapter 165. Will became more and more interested in the seventh princess who was about to meet. Unlike the previous Princess Koronai, Princess Susha's strength is obviously much stronger. I don't know why she came here. Is it also for the ruins? The hall of the Commander-in-Chief's mansion is already in sight. There was not a single sound in the huge mansion. Not even a cockroach. The sounds of wind, birds, and water in the distance are obviously not far away, and it feels like a world away. Will tightened his clothes and walked quickly into the hall. In the huge hall that can seat hundreds of people, there are only 3 people sitting at this moment. On the main seat directly in front of the hall, sat a gorgeously dressed beauty with bright blonde hair, playing with a jewel dagger in her hand. She should be the Princess Susha that Commander Tai Li mentioned. Princess Susha and Princess Koronai are 70% similar in appearance, but their temperaments are different. Princess Koronai gives people a strong and proud feeling, but in fact it is just to cover up the emptiness and inferiority in her heart. And Princess Susha, just sitting there quietly, smiling slightly, made people feel unattainable. This kind of arrogance that comes from the heart cannot be cultivated without countless crushing victories. But if the other party is Princess Susha, it's no wonder that she will have this kind of temperament. Because he seemed to be about the same age as Will, he was already a third-class apprentice, and he should have awakened his talent skills. At the same level, people with bloodlines are stronger than people who transplanted demon seeds. Moreover, the jewel dagger in Princess Susha's hand contains powerful and strange magic power, so it should be a powerful magic weapon. Her strength may still be higher than mine. Will sighed in his heart. Princess Susha's own strength should only be the second or third rank of a third-class apprentice, but with the magic weapon, even Will be in awe. After looking at Princess Susha, I started to look at the other 2. Sitting on the left of Princess Susha is a woman with hair like tree roots, green skin glowing faintly, and extremely powerful vitality in her body. For this person, Wildo took a few glances. Because she reminded Will of a former partner. Ever since Will entered the door, she has been fiddling with the seeds in her hand without looking at Will. Is it a plant wizard? I don't know her ability, but how powerful is she? Plant-based wizards have mediocre combat power, but they have extremely strong auxiliary abilities, which are much more useful in adventures than night-eyed wizards with only one ability. It's a pity that there are too few such people. The last person is sitting on the right side of Princess Susha. It was a tall man wearing a black full-body armor and a red cloak, only his head was exposed, and his eyes were closed all the time. That armor is also a magic weapon? Will was shocked. Princess Susha has a magic weapon, but even a partner around her has a magic weapon? When did magic weapons become so worthless? When Will was in a daze, Princess Susha spoke. Are you the special envoy stationed in Kawa City? Please sit down. Princess Susha smiled softly at Will. Will is also welcome. In the wizarding world, strength is king. Whether the status is noble or not is just icing on the cake. After sitting down, Princess Susha immediately asked, I heard that there is a special envoy named Tucci, where is he now? He and Princess Corinne went to search for the ruins, and they haven't returned until now. Will made no secret of the matter. My stupid sister? A mocking smile appeared on the corner of Princess Susha's mouth. Looking at Princess Susha, she seems to look down on Princess Koronai. But think about it too. Princess Susha is young, beautiful, and powerful, and indeed has the qualifications to look down on anyone. Even relatives are no exception. Besides, the so-called relatives of the royal family are not mentioned. My sister must have invited you, right? Why didn't you join? Princess Susha asked. Princess Corinne did invite me. I am also very interested in exploring the legendary ruins. Unfortunately, she failed to impress me. Will shrugged. Oh? Don't you want to get the treasures in the ruins? Princess Susha asked. Of course I want to, but I have to take it with my life. Will made no secret of his timidity. You're very sincere. We just lack an investigative person like you. How can you be willing to join us? As she said, Princess Susha's gaze rested on Will's left eye. From the existing information, she has roughly deduced Will's ability. After seeing Will with her own eyes, Will is much stronger than she imagined, especially the ability of his demon seed. At first, I thought it was just the night demon eyes, but after feeling the surging magic power in Will's demon seed, the knowledgeable Princess Susha had guessed the ability of Will's demon seed almost instantly. If you want me to join you and take risks together, you must trust each other, right? Taking risks, the most fearful thing is that your partner will stab a knife in the back. That's right, you don't seem to know us? Princess Susha patted her chest. My name is Susha Hilpieres, you can call me Susha, and I am the current king of the Amona Empire 7 daughters. My name is I'm nodded slightly to Will, and then began to fiddle with the seeds on the table. This is Francois. He is relatively withdrawn, but he is still very kind. Shueisha pointed to the man in the magic armor. Will looked at the man named Franro. Until now, her eyes are still closed, no matter whether it is to Princess Susha or Will, she is indifferent to answering. In this regard, Susha is not surprised. After the introduction, Susha said to Will, what you really want to know is the origin of this ruin, the degree of danger, and what you can harvest, right? Yes. The other party said it so bluntly that Will was a little embarrassed. Mulan Black Fort, located deep in the Musha rainforest, used to be one of the frontier fortresses against monsters. Susha explained, 10,000 years ago, as the last demon king was defeated and sealed, the 10,000 races alliance followed. Crash! About 7,000 years ago, a great battle broke out in Muran Black Castle, and the entire academy was reduced to ruins. What the hell? Will found that he couldn't understand what Susha was saying. However, looking at Susha's way of talking, it seems that she is talking about basic knowledge that everyone knows. Asking suddenly, will it appear that he is low? After so many years, how many things are left? The ruins of 7,000 years ago have been patronized a few times. Mulan Black Fort, the ground buildings serving as a military fortress are indeed all destroyed, but the real core area, I heard that only official wizards can enter. Susha's eyes shone with longing. Mulan's Black Castle is one of the most important fortresses for all races to fight against monsters. It is a core area that only official wizards can enter. There are countless secrets and powerful props hidden. Even if it is only leaving a little bit can benefit us endlessly. Chapter 166. Princess Susha's words really moved Will's heart. What moved his heart was not just the peerless treasures left by the wizards. More, it is the yearning and longing for the dark and unknown side of the wizarding world. Monsters were once the greatest enemy of mankind. The strongest among monsters is called the Demon King. The Demon King possesses unimaginable power. According to legend, no one has ever reached the realm of the 9th level wizard. It is estimated that the Demon King is the prototype. Humans can fight against it and defeat the seal. How powerful are humans at their peak? Looking at it now, even a first level wizard is extremely rare. A second level wizard is already the strongest. Level 3 wizard? Even if there is, I don't know where the old man is hiding. Don't even think about the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th levels after that. And Muran Black Fort, located on the front line against monsters, is one of the most important military fortresses. There must have been 8th level wizards in the past. Not to mention anything else, as long as you can understand the power and deeds of an 8th level wizard, this trip is not in vain. The descriptions of high-level wizards in the book are all empty and profound words. There is no specific description of what kind of power they have, what they have done, and their lifespan. They don't even leave their names. The knowledge that was once dreamed of, now finally has the opportunity to understand. It is impossible to say that I am not moved. But the military fortress once had 7 or 8 level wizards. How many organs are there? Although thousands of years have passed, the important things inside have basically been emptied. But the bottom line is still there. It is estimated that ordinary official wizards will have a narrow escape if they go. A group of wizard apprentices want to explore this level of ruins? Isn't it courting death? Seeing the hesitation on Will's face, Princess Susha immediately said, don't worry, it might be a little dangerous, but as long as you don't venture forward, don't do things beyond your own strength, and make a little money without threatening your life, it's still a good idea. No problem. How many? Money is never too much. It depends on your luck, ranging from a few high-level magic stones to as many as several hundred. Susha replied. Will thought about it in his mind. If there is no accident, it will take about 2 or 3 months to go back and forth. The magic stones earned should be 3 at least. 1 high-level magic stone a month? It still looks pretty good. But if you are lucky and get hundreds of high-level magic stones? The harvest seems to be good, but unfortunately it is too dangerous. And Will feels like he's been having bad luck. Sorry, I think I'm too weak to participate in your operation. Will refused. Money is good, but life is more important. Princess Susha did not give up immediately. She changed the way. It's okay if you don't want to explore the ruins with us, how about this? We will hire you to lead the way out of the magic stone, and you can take it to the place marked in the ruins on the map. There will be no danger, how about it? Sure, hands Will a map. Deep in the Musha rainforest, about 300 kilometers away from Kawa City, there is a red dot. That should be where the ruins are. This is the ground area of Mulan Black Castle. Unfortunately, all the buildings on the ground have been destroyed. Susha looked directly at Will. The real Mulan Academy is located in a different space. Aren't you afraid and don't want to enter? Then you just need to take us to the area marked on the map. Will looked at the map carefully. After coming to Kawa City, Will also conducted some research on the geography of Musha Rainforest. The location of Mulan Black Fort is the deepest part of Musha Rainforest. It is also the most dangerous place. I heard that the Great Knight entered, and there was death. But in Will's view, the degree of danger is just that. Big Knight? With his current strength, killing a Great Knight is like killing a chicken. For Will, the forbidden area where the Great Knight lives and dies is just a little dangerous, just pay attention to it a little bit. His strength is very strong. He is only a second-class apprentice, and his combat power can already match the peak of a third-class apprentice. But Will's real strength is not his combat power, but his ability to survive. Will firmly believes in and implements a sentence only if you live, can you output. The Ludoka Mountains, the forbidden place of life in the Musha Rainforest, is rumored to be a lair of the undead. Even the Great Knights can't get out alive. Will is confident, if we just take you deep into the Ludoka Mountains, there will be no problem. For ordinary people, the Ludoka mountain range is indeed a forbidden place for life. However, Susha, and Franro are all third-class apprentices. With their strength, there should be no danger in entering the Luchuoka Mountains. Then why ask him to lead the way? How much is the reward? A high-level magic stone. Susha raised a finger. Will's face suddenly darkened. He stared at Susha, as if asking, "You're kidding me? If you take us to the Musha Rainforest for more than a month, you will receive a high-level magic stone. If it is within a month, you will be rewarded with a high-level magic stone for every day you shorten the time." Shueisha explained. After Susha explained, Will felt much better. 300 kilometers is not too far. Even considering the various dangers along the way, with me leading the way, with our footsteps, the slowest journey will not exceed 20 days. If the situation is ideal, we can reach it in 10 days. Will thought already promised. 1 month back and forth, earn more than 10 high-level magic stones. Don't be too nice. Will looked at Princess Susha with golden eyes, and thought in his heart, as expected of a princess, she is really rich. If you say more than a dozen high-level magic stones, then take it. After 3 years of hard work in the station, the amount of magic stones I got is just this amount. If you have no objection, this matter will be settled. Princess Susha smiled. She had already expected that Will would agree. If you change your mind midway and want to explore the ruins with us, you can contact me at any time said, but the reward for leading the way is gone. When are you leaving? Will asked. The reward for leading the way, plus the magic stones he earned in Kawa City for 3 years, is enough for him to advance to a third-class apprentice safely. Only those with a sick mind can enter the ruins. Of course, you can't trust Princess Susha too much, who knows what's going on in her mind. Maybe it will be cheated like last time? He hasn't forgotten Soros's hateful face. We just came to Kawa City, so we need to take a rest, search for some information, and give you some time to prepare. Princess Susha thought for a while. 5 days, we will leave in 5 days, is it okay? Can. 5 days is a bit tight. He is now in Kawa City, but he is a very important person. Many things are waiting for him to do. It's only been 5 days, so I don't know if we can arrange things well. If he had spoken out, he should have been able to stay for a few more days, but it wasn't necessary. For Will, the most important thing at this stage is to become a third-class apprentice and earn magic stones. The research on the life potion and the perfection of the breathing method cannot be completed in a short while. As for the affairs in Kawa City's army, is it more important than his becoming a third-class apprentice? Even if you think about it, you know it's impossible. Chapter 167. Afterwards, Will discussed some details with Princess Susha. Until he left, the two people brought by Princess Susha didn't say a word or look at him. Will was surprised by this. In the wizarding world, there are too many eccentric people. There is no shortage of both of them. After returning to the room, take out the package that the trustee put back in the room when he returned to Kava City. Inside the package were the items looted from the three of Cook. It's a pity that they are all worthless things. There are only some potions, notes, and maps, all of which are worth dozens of intermediate magic stones. What interests Will most is their weapons. A weapon that can withstand the strength of a third-class apprentice must be extraordinary. This kind of weapon is also sold in the academy. Cheap, a few intermediate magic stones. Slightly better, dozens of intermediate magic stones. Even better, those that can reach the level of a secondary magic tool, between a few high-level magic stones and hundreds of them. Magic weapon? Not sold. You can get someone to help you make it with something equivalent. Whether the other party accepts your things, helps you build it, whether it succeeds or fails is another matter. After carefully checking the weapons of the three of them, cut, it's all a bunch of junk. These weapons are not even as good as the holy sword Lionheart Roar that Will won from the military exercise competition, and none of them are low-level goods worth more than a dozen mid-level magic stones. As a third-class apprentice, isn't he too poor? In fact, the battle of third-class apprentices mainly relies on bloodline abilities and various skills. Weapons are only secondary. Unless it is a secondary magic weapon, or a real magic weapon. Otherwise, the improvement of strength is very limited. What the third-class apprentices need is a handy weapon that can withstand their full strength. So did Will. He never cared about weapons. One's own strength is the first. Of course, if you don't have a handy weapon that can exert your full strength, it is also a problem. The holy sword Lionheart Roar is enough. Save these swords and sell them at the academy. After putting away the spoils, Will said, "What are you going to do next? In only 5 days, there is still a lot to do. However, let's meet General Harder first." Will glanced at the wall clock in the room and thought. General Harder will transport goods and resources from Isar City to Kava City every 3 months. At the beginning, Will also came to Kawa City on General Harder's fleet. At that time, he had a good conversation with General Harder. After that, every time General Harder came to Kawa City, Will would have a few drinks with General Harder. At night, in the attic, the cold moonlight fills the world. The night sky, which has not been polluted by modern industry, is full of stars. Under the moon, Will and General Harder sat around a small table with 2 wine bowls and several appetizers on the table. No one else was invited, and the service of the maid was declined. Just the 2 of them. "Come and try it. This is my latest brewed medicinal wine, which is very good for your body." Will took out a can of wine, lifted the lid, and a strong aroma of wine came out. "Waste, waste." General Harder shook his head at the medicinal wine that Will took out. "It's a good quality wine, if you add things indiscriminately, you will ruin it." "Don't say that, I improved a lot this time." Commander Terry drank it and agreed. Will lifted the wine jar and poured 2 full bowls of wine. "Really?" General Harder took a sip in doubt. Bah, it smells like urine. Is this wine for people to drink?" General Harder poured the wine down quickly. "Is it that exaggerated?" Will also took a sip, feeling okay. "This is the taste of medicinal wine. I think it's pretty good. Not only is it delicious, but it can also strengthen your body. It's very good. Would you like me to give it to you?" "A few altars. Do you think this kind of thing tastes good?" "Forget it, I can't bear it." General Harder took out a jar of wine from under his feet. "I'd better drink the bar I brought." "Tree wine again? I'm about to throw up." Will complained. The tree wine tasted a bit bitter, and Will was not used to drinking it at first. "After drinking it a few times, I feel that it has a different flavor." Afterwards, Will was almost nauseated from drinking. No matter how good the cake is, it should be in moderation. Back then, he liked instant noodles so much. I think instant noodles are much more delicious than the fast food that costs more than 10 yuan outside. After he ate instant noodles for half a month, in the following year, he felt like vomiting when he smelled the instant noodle seasoning package. Haha, you haven't realized the beauty of tree wine. General Harder smiled and opened the lid, but this time it's not tree wine, it's mincemeat wine, which is much more advanced than the tree wine you drank before. You will definitely like. Mince fruit wine, like tree wine, is also one of the specialties of the Amona Empire. I heard that mince wine is brewed from hundreds of different fruits, and different brands use different fruits. There are many types of mince wine, which are similar to the collective names of red wine, white wine, and rice wine. The cheap ones cost around 10 copper coins a caddy, and they taste better than plain water. Expensive and rare ones are specially provided by the royal family, and they are not sold in the market at all. As soon as General Harder opened the lid, a strong fragrance wafted out immediately, which was not at the same level as Will's medicinal liquor. Just smelling the scent, Will swallowed. Gilo swallowed the medicinal wine in the bowl, and quickly filled it with mincemeal wine. He took a sip lightly. After a few minutes of aftertaste, the mellow taste still lingers on the tip of the tongue, which is endless aftertaste. Haven't you ever drank such a good bar? General Harder smiled. Yet. Will nodded. Come on, let's have a drink. General Harder was also unambiguous, picked up the wine bowl and touched it, and started drinking. General Harder drank generously. But this way of drinking, Will felt it was too wasteful. After that, you take a sip and I have a bowl, drink, and talk, the mincemeal wine has bottomed out. General Harder's cheeks were already flushed. The mince wine still has a lot of stamina. General Harder, this is a gift for you. Will took out a rectangular gift box from his arms. General Harder was also unambiguous, and after taking the box, he said, Don't worry, what you give me will definitely be delivered. Excuse me, Will thanked. Afterwards, the two drank several bottles of tree wine. General Harder was completely drunk and insane. Will was not much better, dragging his clothes and singing. The time came to midnight. Will was lying naked on the railing like a lump of mud. General Harder's condition was slightly better, and he was helped back. Master Will, are you all right? Ava, the maid, appeared in the attic with a towel and clothes, and was going to take Will, who was drunk, to take a bath. No. After General Harder walked away, Will, who was drunk like a lump of mud a second ago, opened his eyes suddenly. The blush on his face receded, and the bewilderment in his eyes disappeared. He took the clothes from the hand of the maid Ava and put them on. I'm going to take a shower first, you can let someone clean this place. Under Ava's surprised gaze, Will left the attic. His drunken appearance was simply a faux pas. Soak in the tub. Will used the breathing method to remove the alcohol in his body from the pores of his body bit by bit. It is one thing to be physically strong and not easy to get drunk. What really keeps him from getting drunk is the powerful control over his body after becoming a paladin. Like forcing wine from fingers in martial arts novels, Will can do the same now. Chapter 168. Soak in the tub. The whole body relaxes, and the mind ushers in a long-lost tranquility. Look up at the ceiling of the bathroom. The mist rises from the bathtub and condenses on the ceiling, forming crystal water droplets to drip. Will's figure was shrouded in mist, looking so weak and lonely, without a trace of strength. 3 years, how are they doing? His eyes seemed to travel through time and space, and the image of the town named Lent appeared in his pupils. In the blink of an eye, 3 years have passed. He was 18 years old when he left Albert Castle. It is now 21 years old. Will held up a puddle of water, and the water flowed down between his middle fingers. I don't know how father and the others are doing. My children, the older one is 5 years old, and the younger one is almost 3 years old. They are all here. It is a critical moment for literacy to cultivate a worldview. When he was in Sar City, Will sent letters home every month. There are also some children's enlightenment books, children's toys and storybooks, etc. After entering Jalo Potion Academy, due to the closed nature of the academy, he didn't send a letter home for a year. When you come to Kava City, when you are free. The first thing he did was to find a way to send a letter home. Eventually, General Harder was found. Of course, huge costs cannot be avoided. But as long as you can send letters home and send things home, everything is worth it. The address Will gave to General Harder was not his hometown of Lund. It was Saar City, where the Fran family was located. Fern Furlong, his great benefactor. Leah Furlong, his fiancée. He owed a lot to the Fran family, and repayment was indispensable. And he also needs the Fran family to take care of his hometown. Although Lund town and Sal City are thousands of miles away, with the power of the Fran family, it is still possible to take care of one or two. On top of that, Will doesn't know when he's going to die either. The world of wizards is too dangerous. Will sighed. You can't wait until you become a third-class apprentice before repaying the Fran family and working hard for the rise of the Albert family. What if you die on the way? Will the Fran family vent their resentment towards him on the Albert family? What will happen to the Albert family without him? At this stage, he can give it to the Fran family, and the Fran family also likes it, only the secondary potion. The Fran family is a big family and has some connections with the wizarding world, but that's all. Not to mention secondary potions, they don't even have some rare and common potions. Those secondary potions, I think they will still be satisfied. For the Fran family, it was a secondary potion. For the Albert family in my hometown, it is much different and more complicated. Will still knows the simple truth of everyone is innocent, but pregnant is guilty. The Albert family is too weak. The strength is not bad among the barons. The question is, what is a baron? The more he understands this world, the more powerful he becomes, and the more he understands the unspoken rules of this world. The existence of quasi-knights, knights, and great knights is meaningless at all. Just bullying innocent people. The real power in this world is wizards. The real ruler is the wizard. The royal family, dukes and earls are all bloodline families, and the bloodlines are so strong that the descendants are almost 100% awakened. It does not rule out that the bloodlines of earl families in some remote places are weak. Therefore, it is not acceptable to rashly give something that is too precious to the family. Relying on external force is evil after all. Only self-strengthening is the truth. The best way to make the family stronger is naturally that the members of the family also have strong blood, and everyone can awaken their abilities. But that's too far away. It cannot be achieved overnight. We can only retreat and start from the strength of knights. When each generation of the family has 3 or 5 great knights in charge, it will be more stable. Doria province, where the Albert family is located, is the most remote province in the Cairo Empire. There is only one earl family in the province of Doria. The strongest on the surface is just a great knight. Maybe there will be some hidden masters in Earl Giali's family, and they should not be much higher than the Grand Knight. The turtle breathing method I created before was quite powerful among the paladins' breathing methods, but at that time I didn't understand the breathing method enough, so the turtle breathing method I created was too difficult to practice. Only those who are at the peak of knighthood can practice. That's too much to ask for. How many years would it take for a small baronial family like Albert to produce one of the peak knights? Not to mention the peak of the knight. Before his father, Baron Leo, became a knight, the family had not had a knight for a long time. I bought 10 holy level breathing methods in the academy, and after arriving in Kawa City, I tried to get a few more holy level breathing methods to study, learn from each other, and after integrating all the advantages into one, I finally created it Kame-Yuan Ryu breathing method. Ordinary people can practice Kamejin Ryu breathing method, and paladins can practice it. The upper limit is high and the difficulty is moderate. For someone with a talent like Baron Leo, after practicing Kamejin Ryu, there is a 70% chance of becoming a great knight. It wasn't that Will looked down on Baron Leo. In a small place like Lent Town, Baron Leo is a genius among geniuses, the most shining star in Lent Town in the past 100 years. After expanding the range a bit, it doesn't need to be big. Just go to Moonfall City. Baron Leo's talent can only be regarded as above average. If it is enlarged to the entire Doria province, the entire Cairo Empire, and the entire Eastern continent. There are countless talents of Baron Leo's level, like Crucian carp crossing the river. In Kava City, there are more than a dozen people whose strength is not inferior to that of Baron Leo. Game source stream is powerful, but in order for most people to understand it, there are too many details and too complicated. The general breathing method is a thin book. It can range from 1 or 200 words to as many as several thousand. And his turtle origin has a full 270,000 words. The details are outrageous. Many of the contents are like the proving process of the formulas and theorems in physics textbooks. Does anyone actually watch it? But Will felt that it was absolutely necessary. The writing is extremely esoteric, mysterious, but it is just to prevent people from stealing and learning. In fact, he wanted to write a longer one. For example, divide each realm in a more detailed manner, describe those realms in more detail, and write more advanced methods and precautions. It is not a problem to write 1,000,000 words. Considering that paper in this world is too expensive. Moreover, it is not realistic for a martial arts practitioner to study like a college entrance examination. On top of that, it's all too easy to give away. If I can live to become an official wizard, the breathing method will be leaked. I hope that people all over the world will practice the Kame-Yuan Ryu breathing method and become a great knight paladin. But not now. At this stage, turtle origin is very important to the Albert family. If he unfortunately falls, Kame-Yuan Liu is an important pillar supporting the rise of the family. It's too dangerous to write directly the source of the turtle, so I wrote it in the way of reading the impression of the turtle sucking method, and deliberately messed up the order. If you don't look at it according to the turtle sucking method, it's just an ordinary breathing method. Inside notes, not very useful. I hope they can restore the real turtle source. Will divided turtle source into 3 books and sent one back each time. This is the last one. Chapter 169. The things sent back to the Albert family included some medicines that were more precious to ordinary people besides the Kame-Yuan Ryu breathing method. Drink some of his books based on past lives, enlightenment textbooks and fables written for children, and some toys he made himself. Now there is only so much I can do for the family. Will has thought a lot about ways to make the Albert family rise. In the end, it is still implemented in the breathing method and blood vessels. I have already given the family the best way to breathe. Even without me, it will not be difficult to become a Viscount family after tens of hundreds of years, and the blood. The easiest way to improve the bloodline of the family is to absorb all kinds of people with bloodlines like the Fran family. If you do that, is it still the Albert family? Another method is to select talented people from the family and transplant the magic seed to become a wizard. It is best to transplant the same magic seed. With the accumulation of generations, the blood of the family will become stronger and stronger. Transplanting demon seeds is too dangerous, and the chance of becoming a third-class apprentice is too low. Maybe the members of the Albert family are dying, and they can only have a weak blood. Like the Kemple family in Moonfall City, is there any difference between having that blood and not having it? I don't know how many years it will take before an awakened person can be born. It's not impossible to rely on me to have more children, but things like bloodlines will become thinner after 2 or 3 generations. It is still necessary to have a stable source of bloodlines. As for how to strengthen the blood of the family, Will already had an idea in his mind. But now is not the time to implement it. Oh, strength. The weak strength has restricted Will to many actions. As a result, many thoughts can only exist in his mind. Once he falls halfway, everything will come to naught. The fog in the bathroom gradually dissipated. The water is starting to cool down. Looking out from the small window of the bathroom, the east has turned white. How long have I been soaking? I drank with General Harder until midnight. Thinking about things while taking a bath. One night passed in the blink of an eye. Master Will, do you want to add water? Ava asked wrapped in a towel. She has been standing beside Will, waiting for Will's orders. Ava's bath towel was soaked in water mist, and it couldn't hide her uneven and graceful figure at all. There was a burst of excitement in Will's heart. Bring Kylan, I have something important to tell her. Will suppressed the desire in his heart and ordered. Now is not the time to think about love between men and women. 5 days, 1 day has passed. Soon, he will go to the ruins of Mulan Black Castle with Princess Susha and his party. This trip can be as short as 1 month and as long as 3 or 2 months. Being away for such a long time, he has a lot of projects that need someone to take over, a lot of things to deal with. There are also many things to prepare for an adventure. After Ava leaves, it should take half an hour for Kylan to arrive. In half an hour, you can still do a lot of things. Will put on his coat and found Captain Rock. Ask Chief Guard Rock to find all the information related to Musha Rainforest. After that, go back to the room. If you need something, you need to plan it carefully. Although he is only responsible for leading the way, any accidents on the way are possible. And Princess Susha and the other 3 couldn't believe it either. Who knows if they will cheat him? Let him go to Thunder? They probably didn't see through my strength, so when they bully me, I also have the power to resist. Will sighed in his heart, unexpectedly, I will also explore this ruin. The magic stone's attraction is too great. After 3 years of ordinary residency, he may barely be able to gather the magic stones that ordinary people need to advance to third-class apprentices. But is it really enough for him? There was an ominous premonition in Will's heart. I'm afraid it will be much more difficult than I imagined to become a third-class apprentice. 20 high-level magic stones in 3 years is simply not enough. And advanced third-class apprentices are just the beginning, and there are still many places that need to use magic stones. For example, learning magic martial arts. Learn the seals. Learn some techniques and prescriptions for refining high-level potions. He also wanted to learn magic patterns and how to forge magic weapons. Everything requires a large amount of high-level magic stones. It's not a matter of a few or dozens, it's calculated by hundreds or thousands. If possible, try to accumulate as many magic stones as possible. Even in this world, Will is still tortured by poverty. When I was in my hometown, life was much better than ordinary people, but the Albert family's income was only a few hundred gold coins a year, which was nothing compared to the slightly larger families. At the auction, he spent more than 5,000 gold coins to buy a copy of the Demon Hunter's notebook that no one snatched up. 5,000 gold coins were barely scraped together after hollowing out the Albert family. After entering Jalo Potion Academy, looking at the children of those big families, dozens of hundreds of high-level magic stones were thrown around for fun. It was exhausting for him to earn an intermediate magic stone. No matter which world you are in, it is a paradise for the rich. The days get busy. Will has a lot to prepare. In order to earn magic stones, most of the potions refined were handed over to the army. Some of the savings that had been saved were also taken away by General Harder and given to the Fran family. Advanced Breath Potion, Antidote Potion, Limb Balm, Advanced Recovery Potion, Life Concentration Potion. Will counted them one by one. There are too many things he wants to bring. It's a pity that the time is limited, and it can't be refined in 5 days. The space in the backpack is also limited, so you can't hold so many things. This day, I'm actually came to the door. I'm is one of the 2 people brought by Princess Susha. A girl with hair like the roots of a tree, green skin and a strong vitality in her body, with a dull expression. From the time they met, Will hadn't had a word with Im. He guessed that Susha, Im, and Francois are all from the Loria Union Academy. He would have liked to have them ask for information about the Loria Union Academy. Wanted to ask if they knew a girl named Edith. Later, he gave up. Because he could see that Princess Susha and the other 3 looked down on him from the bottom of their hearts. Princess Susha was better, the other 2 didn't look at him directly, and didn't plan to say a word to him. Will was too lazy to put a cold face on his hot ass. Anyway, his role is to lead the way, and it's only 10 days and a half months. After that, there may be no intersection for a lifetime. Unexpectedly, Im, who had been ignoring him all this time, came to his door. How could he not be surprised? Inviting Im to the living room, and serving good tea and snacks, Will asked, I don't know what you want from me, Master Im? Im didn't talk nonsense, and directly took out a glass tube. In the glass tube, a light golden liquid flows. Did you refine this life potion? Im's voice was extremely hoarse, as if it was rubbed out with wood. Chapter 170. Yes. Will didn't expect Im to be interested in life potions. The materials used for the life potion are very common, and the difficulty of refining is similar to that of some low and middle level secondary potions. Although similar potions are very rare in the wizarding world, it can be said that there are no such potions, at least Will has never seen them. But this is not to say how powerful the life potion is. How powerful Will is who can refine life potions, and how highly accomplished potions are. It's because the life potion has too few uses. The life potion contains powerful and pure vitality, which can greatly enhance the vitality of the human body. Then what? After strengthening the vitality, although it can strengthen the body's immunity, resilience, strength, speed, defense, etc., they are all very weak. I'm really sorry for its materials and refining difficulty. With that kind of kung fu, can't I refine a bottle that can quickly restore physical strength? Wouldn't it be good to refine a potion that can greatly strengthen the body in a short period of time? Most of the effects of the life potion are actually wasted. Unless you have practiced internal absorption, or have a paladin cultivation base, otherwise you will not be able to fully absorb the power of the life potion. The benefit of life potion is so low, so that no wizard would waste time on it and refine similar potions. Then why did Will rack his brains to improve and optimize the life potion? Because it can increase the probability of people stimulating their vitality and becoming quasi-knights and knights, nothing more. This is a potion specially refined for the knight training system, and has nothing to do with wizards. For something like this, Will originally thought that an ordinary wizard would have dismissed it when he saw it, and laughed at him for wasting his time and life. Didn't expect I'm to come to your door? There has been a slight change in that dull expression that has remained unchanged for thousands of years? Can you teach me how to make life potion? I'm looked directly at Will, his eyes were as beautiful as emeralds. Yes, yes. There is nothing to hide about this kind of thing, but, what do you plan to exchange? The wizarding world follows the principle of equivalent exchange. Although it's just a small bottle of life potion, you and I don't know each other, so why should I teach you? As if he would have thought of Will's answer. Took something out of his clothes. It was also a bottle of potion in a transparent glass tube, and the golden color of the potion was mixed with a touch of green. What is this? Are you going to exchange it with me? Will wondered. Opened the lid, and a little fluorescent light floated out from the mouth of the bottle. It is. Will's expression changed. Reach out and quickly grab a few fluorescent spots. The fluorescence turned into a stream of clear water, entering his body, nourishing his muscles and blood vessels. You can't be wrong, this is a life potion I refined, but Will was surprised. The rich vitality contained in it is more than 10 times that of ordinary life potions, and this is smooth and soft. What's the matter with your power? It is not difficult to purely enhance the vitality in the life potion. But it is very difficult for people to absorb the effects of the medicine without hurting people. The most difficult problem for life medicine at this stage is not the cost, nor the difficulty of refining, nor the success rate of the user to stimulate the vitality. But safe. Among every batch of people who took the life potion, some people died or were injured because of the overpowering and overbearing effect of the life potion. There are no side effects if you take life potion. And the overall efficacy remains unchanged. That would be a major breakthrough. It is an epoch-making invention. Tell me, how exactly do you do it? Will looked at nervously. The world where breathing is popularized and everyone can stimulate vitality finally sees a glimmer of light. Give me the refining method of the life potion. Im's voice remained unchanged, it was still so hoarse and unpleasant, without any emotion. For some reason, Will felt that M's voice was much more pleasant. No problem, follow me please. Did not hesitate for long. He didn't think would lie to him. Even if you are cheated, there is not much loss. Such things as life potion are not such a tall thing. The reason why no one made it before was because no one was interested. If the life potion proves its value, as long as a potion master with a little level of skill takes a little time, it can be easily imitated. There is no patent protection in this world. While walking towards the underground alchemy room, Will asked, "Why are you interested in life potions?" This question has been entangled in Will's heart since opened his mouth. Tastes good. What? Took out a bottle of life potion and took a gulp. The greenness of M's whole body seems to be a little more intense. Fortunately is a woman. Otherwise, the greenness of this body, if you change to a man, can't you go crazy? I like this taste very much. Was intoxicated by the delicious taste of the life potion. Yes, is it? Will was speechless. Feelings just for this? Thinking about it carefully, M's bloodline ability is related to plants, so it is only natural that he likes life potions that contain pure plant vitality. Come to the refining room. This is Morgan grass juice, and this is the centennial tree core. Will introduced the materials needed for the life potion to one by one, and at the same time demonstrated the refining process of the life potion. Here are the notes and materials I wrote. Will picked up a notebook and handed it to flipped through a few pages of notes. Okay. Should also be a potion master himself. After reading Will's refining process and explanation, and with the notes, there is no secret for her to speak of such a difficult potion as life potion. You only need to go back and practice a few times before you can refine it. What about the improvement method of the life potion? Will asked nervously, rubbing his hands. He was afraid that would go back on his word. Didn't speak, just put a bottle of life potion on the table, and then put the 3 seeds on it. What are you? Will asked suspiciously. Isn't it a life-improving potion? What are you doing with a few seeds? These seeds do not know what kind of plant they are, and they contain extremely powerful and pure vitality. Im pressed his hand on the life potion. Gentle magic is infused into potions and seeds. The vitality in the seeds and the vitality in the potion suddenly became active. Vitality floated out from the seeds and merged into the potion. Potions are refined from a variety of medicines, and the effects of medicines generally cannot be perfectly blended together. However, under Im's method, the effects of the medicine showed signs of merging into one. I see. Will knew what Im did, but his face was very ugly. Magic skill life synchronization. A skill that requires the use of magic power, and generally only third-class apprentices can learn it. Can feel and control the vitality of other animals and plants. Im's improvement of the life potion has nothing to do with the refining method of the potion, it is purely the use of skills. Originally Will thought he had made a lot of money. I even wondered if Im was lying to him. It seems that Im didn't lie to him, but... You don't need to hide the magic seed, you can already control the magic seed perfectly. Im stared at Will's left eye. You should be able to control a little bit of magic power, use magic skills, I can teach life to you, 1 for 1, is fair, isn't it? That's right, using the refining method of the life potion for a magic skill, you can't make any more money. Chapter 171. Should he get down on his knees, hug Im's thigh, and cry out thanks? Hee. Others may not be able to learn with memory crystals, you teach? How long can you teach? Do you think magic skills are Chinese cabbage? Magic skills are much more difficult than most spiritual skills. More than 90% of third-class apprentices don't know a single magic skill. Just like second-class apprentices rarely have spiritual skills. It's not that I don't want to, but it's too difficult. The time and price paid are not directly proportional to the harvest. And magic skills can be learned if you want to. It is necessary to look at the sex. For example, the synchronization of life. If you want to control the vitality of animals and plants, you must perceive the vitality of the other party, right? I don't know how many people got stuck in the first level. For example, a magical skill that can speed up flying, if you can't fly, how can you learn it? There are different types of monsters, different bloodlines, different abilities, and the magic skills that can be learned are also very different. In theory, most magic skills are universal. Just in theory. Life synchronization is almost tailor-made for wizards with plant blood. Even if other people barely learn it, the effect and usefulness are very weak, and the gain outweighs the loss. So what Im said? Are you trying to lie to him about his knowledge? Will is very interested in the skill of life synchronization. He can feel the life force. He has blue spirits. As long as Im teaches seriously, he will be able to learn it overnight. But is it that simple? What Will really valued was Im's attitude. Even if she took out a few high-level magic stones in exchange? Magic skills? Can it be replaced with a magic stone? Will asked in a low voice. Compared with the magic stone, Will of course wants the magic skill and life synchronization more. But Will asked anyway. Maybe Im didn't do it on purpose? Isn't there a lot of people who are not good at communication in this world? Although exchanging magic stones for magic skills, he would lose a lot, but wouldn't it be great if he didn't wrong a good person? I don't have a magic stone on me. Im's expression was still so dull. I will try my best to teach you magic skills, and I believe you can learn them. So true. After that, Will was silent. Obediently learn magic skills and life synchronization with Im. The magic skill life synergy is broad and profound, and has a wide range of uses. Extracting vitality from animals and plants, and making medicines better integrated when refining medicines, these are just small uses of life synchronization. Life synchronization has many functions and uses, but what really caught Will's fancy was its ability life radar. Can sense the signs of life around. The range of perception is determined by the proficiency of magic skills, magic power, and the strength of one's own mental power. With Will's current mental power, level 5 life coherence, he can probably sense the life force within a radius of 500 meters. Life synchronization and perception, the 3D map in the brain is perfectly formed. Life synchronization does not improve strength much. It is difficult to drain the life force of the enemy in battle. But it's a functional magic trick. Used well, it can bring great convenience. My current combat power is actually enough, and I can devote a little more energy to researching survival and auxiliary skills in the future. Indulge in the study of life attunement. Time passed quickly. I still have something to do. Today's study is here first. You can come to me anytime if you have any questions about magic skill life synchronization. I'm came and went in a hurry. After I'm left, we'll check the time. It's only been 2 hours. From Im's visit to him, during which we'll talked with Im, led the way, and demonstrated the process of refining medicine, to Im teaching him the magic technique of life synchronization. After doing so many things, only 2 hours have passed. Im didn't even have an hour to teach him magic skills. That guy, really think I can learn magic skills in an hour? Even if the magic skill is in the memory crystal, it takes more than an hour for him to comprehend it once. Can you find her anytime? It is impossible to know without thinking. He looks honest, but unexpectedly he is a cunning and sinister guy. Will's affection for Im has dropped to freezing point. Susha, Im, Franro, 1 or 2, they are not fuel-efficient lamps. Can become a third-class apprentice at a young age, which one has no talent. Where is the most basic trust between people? Looking at the life synchronization skill in the Blue Spirit System interface, Will was not as happy as he imagined. Will wanted to raise his life synchronization to level 5 at once. Unfortunately, the knowledge that can be imparted in 1 hour is limited. He only learned part of the method of using the magic skill life synchronization, and in the end the magic skill life synchronization was only upgraded to level 3. Fortunately, it requires much less source power than advanced meditation methods. This time, Will's original strength finally bottomed out. Looking at the 2-digit source power on the interface, Will sighed. Advanced meditation methods, Alder's Seal, are all big eaters of source power. Will sighed, it's time to find a way to earn some source power. Killing a person is possible at 7 points. Killing a green spirit can give you 5 points. Killing a monster can cost 30 points. The lifespan of an official wizard should be about 300 years. Although it can increase with the improvement of strength, the promotion of a first-level wizard is limited. Generally, it ends at 500 years old. In other words, to kill a first-level wizard, at most 50 source power. The income is really low, it's better to kill a few more people. Obtaining source power seems to be simple. It only needs to kill tens of millions of people. The problem is you have to kill it with your own hands. You know, even in the current battle where bullets are used, the soldiers who killed the most killed only a few thousand people, not counting nuclear bombs. Thinking about those lunatics who killed people in competitions back then, they were only beheaded by 100 people. Forget it, the boat will be straight when it reaches the bridge. There is no need to deliberately kill, there are too many damned people and races in this world. As long as he still wants to realize the ambition and ideal in his heart, the source power will naturally increase. Killing is not what I want. Killing is only the lowest means to an end. Forget it, why think so much? We'll talk about it after becoming an official wizard. Without becoming an official wizard for a day, what he can do is limited. Try your new skills. Will closed his eyes, as the magic power and mental power continued to be consumed. With himself as the center, within a radius of 200 meters, all animals and plants with vitality turned into light spots composed of vitality and appeared in his mind. Spots of light are like stars, turning into an endless starry sky. It's a bit expensive, isn't it? If this continues, his magic power will be exhausted in less than 30 seconds. I'm not a 3-point apprentice after all, and my magic power is a bit low. Screw it, I don't need to perceive so much vitality, and the range can be reduced. Ants don't need it, grass doesn't need it, bugs don't need it. After Will's hard work, there are only 20 spots left in his mind. Use it with perception. Perception is activated. As if a real-time live broadcast appeared in my mind, the buildings, people, and objects in the scene changed over time. Using 2 skills at the same time, can't afford it. Whether it is magical skills or spiritual skills, generally only third-class apprentices can use them. He is a second-class student, and it is still a bit reluctant. After that, 5 days flew by. The day of departure has arrived. Seeing I'm still expressionless, Will sighed slightly. During this period, he approached Im a few times. In the end, I couldn't even see her face to face, and was blocked by the guards for various reasons. Will gave up, even people like me are going to be fooled, even a few magic stones, what's the matter? With Will taking the lead, Susha, Im and Franro followed behind, and the 4 quietly left Kawa City and embarked on a journey to the ruins of Mulan Black Castle. Chapter 172. It was still late at night. At the junction of heaven and earth in the east, there is not even a whitish shadow. Kava City. In the curtain, the female general breathed evenly. Kylan's thin pajamas could not conceal her figure at all. Beside her were two beauties in the same dress. Kylan's orientation is quite normal. She likes men. A strong, upright, kind man. If it is in the military, it would be even better to contribute wholeheartedly to the army and think about the people wholeheartedly. It's a pity that in her 32 years, she hasn't met anyone who makes her heart flutter. If you want to get her affirmation, you must at least go forward bravely and have an indomitable will, right? If you want to get her heart, you must at least have a heart for the people, right? If you want to get her, you must at least be better than her, right? Don't care what you look like. Don't care about your life experience. It doesn't even matter how many women you have. There are only 3 requirements, not too much, right? But she was still complained that the requirements were too high. After all these years, she still hasn't found anyone she can fancy. In Kava City, there is one person who meets the requirements. Commander Lied. It's a pity that Lied is too rigid, his mind is full of muscles, and it's not interesting at all. Inside the room, the faint flame of the oil lamp flickered. A gust of wind blew by, and the faint candle flame was extinguished immediately. Inside the curtain, Kylan, who was breathing sweetly, opened her eyes suddenly. Sit up. Get out of bed. Putting on the armor, tying up her hair, with a resolute expression on her face and sharp eyes, she completely returned to her usual commander-in-chief Kylan in front of outsiders. Leave the room and go to the office. In the office, there were 2 people standing on both sides of the desk, and the desk in their hands was full of documents. Kawa City's army is divided into 3 legions. One army, led by Commander-in-Chief Vic. Mainly responsible for intelligence, support, training, and so on. The second army was led by Commander-in-Chief Lied. Mainly responsible for hard work and field battles. The 3 armies are led by her. Mainly responsible for defense, city layout, guard team planning, etc. Of course, responsibilities are not static and will change with changes in the war. The part she is responsible for is relatively simple, but it is indeed the most complicated. There are a lot of files that need to be processed every day. Pick up the reports one by one, and skillfully review, correct, and seal them. As usual, when the sun shyly showed half of the corner, the file was processed. Rubbing his temples tiredly, does Will have any requests today? Since Will came to Kawa City, the things she needs to do every day have almost doubled. Will often made many excessive demands. She wanted to find someone to reason with, but when she came to visit, she was told that Will refused to see visitors. After waiting for a long time, when she was about to give up, she was told that Will had come out and needed to find her. With anger, he rushed to Will. Before she could question her, a new request was raised. After leaving Will's accommodation in a daze, she came back to her senses. What was she going to say? She seems to have something to question Will. When I turned back, I was told that no visitors were allowed. Master Will has been away for 5 days. Yet, it was only then that she remembered that Will and the princess and his party left Kawa City 5 days ago, and they didn't know where they went. Suddenly there was no one there, and I couldn't get used to it for a while. Kylan got up and walked towards the training ground. Morning exercise is one of the necessary items every day. In the military, strength is the most important thing. Especially since she is still the commander-in-chief, without strong strength, it is impossible. Even with her knight cultivation and her bloodline ability, she has a fighting power comparable to the peak of a great knight, and she can rank among the top 5 in the army. But there are still many people who are not convinced. Many people think that she is a woman, she is not very old, and her strength cannot be so strong, and she is based on her body. This kind of rumor has been unstoppable. As long as I have stronger strength, there will be no problem. The training ground that Kylan went to was a place to train a small number of elite soldiers. Doing morning exercises here, one can know the training progress of the soldiers and guide them in their cultivation. The second is to be able to show her own strength to the soldiers, let them understand her strength, feel awe of her, and put an end to the rumors that she is weak and relies on her body for superiority. In the training ground, Commander-in-Chief Light is training troops, a total of 500 people. These 500 people were all selected from thousands of people. Strong, loyal, and obey orders. Commander Light is instructing them to practice breathing exercises. The advantages and disadvantages of breathing exercises are very obvious. Will called it a failed exercise, and said that it is best not to teach others. But Karan doesn't think so. So did Coach Terry. Breathing gymnastics can train reserve knights in batches. Moreover, the preparatory knights who practice breathing and gymnastics are much stronger than the ordinary preparatory knights, and the weaker preparatory knights are not opponents. An army composed entirely of reserve knights is terrifying to think about. Kylan stared at Commander Light. Since losing to Will that day, Commander Light has practiced more diligently. However, his strength has reached a limit. No matter how you practice, the improvement in strength is minimal. When he saw breathing exercises, he seemed to have discovered a new world. And bluntly said after practicing breathing exercises, I will definitely be stronger and surpass Will. It was later heard that Will taught Commander Light the complete exercise method. Since then, Karan has known. Although it can't be seen on the surface, but in the heart of Commander Lid, Will has been completely convinced. Even the extremely arrogant Lid has surrendered. Who are you, Will? Kylan sighed. After morning exercise, I broke out in a hot sweat. The sun was shining brightly, and it was almost noon. Next, Karan came to the military doctor. Kawa City Army has its own exclusive pharmacist, although not as good as Will, but the level of pharmacy is also first class. The medical area is very busy, and there are wailing figures everywhere. Find apothecary Judd. Judd is a grizzled, experienced pharmacist. At this time, Judd was hiding in a secret room. The room was filled with all kinds of bottles and jars. Judd looked like he hadn't showered and slept for a few days. His grey beard and hair were stained together, and his eyes were red. I heard that Will taught Judd the method of refining the life potion a few days ago. Judd has been obsessed with refining the life potion for the past few days. I hope he can restrain himself. Kylan tried to persuade Judd to take a good rest, but it didn't work at all. The life potion is very useful. If it can be simplified and popularized, it will definitely affect the entire human society. After that, Kylan visited many places and dealt with many things. One day passed quickly. Night. There is a diary on the desk. I always feel like there's nothing to write about. Flipping forward, the diary for the past year is full of writing, and it seems that I can't finish writing what happens every day. In the past 5 days, I feel a little boring. In fact, this is the original appearance of Kawa City. Keep the faintest oil lamp. Chapter 173. Taking advantage of the night. Will, Susha, I'm and Franro sneaked out of Kava City. The straight line distance between Kava City and the Ludoka Mountains where the ruins of Mulan Black Fort are located is only 300 kilometers. With the footsteps of 3 people, it can be reached in half a day at the fastest. However, who, when traveling, only counts the straight line distance. Thinking about his previous life, Will followed the navigation on the phone map and wanted to go across the road to a shop less than 50 meters away in a straight line. Crossing the road, waiting for traffic lights, crossing bridges, going downhill. It took a full hour to reach the destination. 300 meters. He himself was stunned. They all began to wonder if there was something wrong with the mobile phone map. In short, straight line distance and walking distance are completely different. It is normal for the distance to double or dozens of times. They went to the Ludoka Mountains, not just for a simple travel adventure, but to find treasures. So you can't travel lightly. Food, water, potions, clothes, tents, these are all necessities. If you encounter valuable treasures, you must collect them, right? Some precious medicinal materials can only be put in jade boxes after picking them off, so you must bring the jade box with you, right? Some items are bulkier and a larger bag box is a must. What if a living thing is caught? What if the thing found had to be soaked in some special potion? The wizarding world is full of strange things. When you are on an adventure, risking your life and finally finding the treasure, only to find that you have nothing to wear, isn't that too miserable? Oh, it would be great if there was a space treasure. Will held the rein in his hand and drove the horse. In this world, space treasures are very rare. Let alone the legendary interspatial ring, I have never even heard of the interspatial bag. In other words, is there really storage space in this world? At least Will hadn't. No storage space, a lot of stuff to carry, and the Ludoka Mountains are deep in the Goblin Kingdom. It is impossible to reach the destination without being noticed. Will didn't know how Tucci and Corinne got together before. But he has plans of his own. They went southwest to a place called Kola Town. The town of Kola is located at the junction of the Amona Empire and the Kasta Kingdom. Located in a dense forest, surrounded by swamp poisonous insects, the location is remote, and it is a famous place of chaos. Here, people trade with green spirits. People in this world are very contradictory in their attitudes towards strange creatures such as green elves, orcs, and giants. Neither hate nor like. Treating the green spirit is just like treating an empire that has been fighting for many years and has deep grievances and hatreds. In essence, they actually agree that the other party is an equal creature like themselves. Will felt that this kind of thinking was very weird. "Non my family, its heart must be different." This is a sentence that has appeared in his textbooks since elementary school. And the main object of this sentence is only human beings of different races, skin colors, and customs. Even humans cannot understand each other. What about aliens? They haven't felt the horror of aliens yet. Perhaps they are used to this kind of oppression. This phenomenon is not unheard of. It is rumored that when the slaves were liberated, some serfs stood up to protect the slave owners, saying that the slave owners were good people, they are willing to be slaves for generations. Human servility is terrifying. After kneeling for a long time, there will always be a day when I can't stand up. After reaching the town of Kola, Will disguises himself as a green goblin. He has been able to control his muscles, blood vessels, and bones almost perfectly. Reduce the height to 1.5 meters, which is about the same height as ordinary green spirits. Control the muscles in both ears to make the ears pointed and elongated. Apply the dyed medicine on the body, shrink the pores at the same time, shave the hair, and make the skin green and smooth. The left eye was tied with a bandage, and there was a hint of vicissitudes on his face. The image of a smuggler who puts interests first and dances on the tip of a knife is perfectly portrayed by Will. After buying a lot of rare and precious supplies from the Green Elves, he teamed up with several Green Elves' small caravans and headed to the Kasta Empire. In Kora Town, Will met many businessmen who were friends with the Green Elves and put national interests above money. They communicate with the Green Spirits. They sell rare materials to Green Elves. They provide important information to the Green Elves. 4. Just money. Human desires cannot be stopped. On the green essence side, there are rare medicinal materials, beautiful gems, and delicious wines. Weapons, silk, ceramics on the human side. It is normal for ordinary things in this country to be shipped to another country, and the value will increase by dozens of times. Originally, Kola Town did not exist. It's just that the smugglers found a relatively safe and stable open space on the way of transporting goods, which is convenient for resting. Some see a business opportunity. Put tea and wine on the open space, build restaurants, and recruit mercenaries. Gradually, smuggling merchants used this open space as a transit point. And it grew bigger and bigger until it became the current Kola Town. It's less than 5 o'clock. It was daylight. The caravan set off. Crunch! The wheels ran over the grass, stained with green juice. Sometimes the branches were disturbed, and the cool dew fell like rain, drenching everyone. Will pulled 7 or 8 carts of goods and followed the caravan. Susha, Im, and Franro hid in the cargo. Since the 3 of them all have the spiritual ability of weakening breath, as long as there is not much movement, they don't worry about being discovered. The reason is that Will made up into green spirit. It was because Will was hired by them to lead the way, he set the route, and he drew up the method. Moreover, during his stay in Kava City, he had studied the customs and language of the Green Elves. Among the 4, he is the one who knows the green spirit best. He is the only one who can speak the language of the Green Elves. It seems that when we were in Kawa City, it was right to find someone to learn the Green Elf language. Will's language talent isn't great. But with the improvement of his strength, his mental strength became larger and larger, and his memory became better and better, almost reaching the realm of photographic memory. Learning a language is extremely easy. His memory, among wizards, is only average. Most wizards can speak 2-digit languages. There are only 7 mainstream languages in this world: Cairo, Amona, Littorian Empire, Holy Empire, Green Elf, Sea Clan, and Orcish. Will can't speak 2 languages left, Sea language and Orc language. If given the chance, he will learn 2. He didn't believe that Susha and the other 3 didn't know the green speech. I don't want to learn because I don't have the money or the time. All of you are of noble blood, Don't you know more than a dozen languages? Who are you kidding? But since the other party has said so, it is not easy for him to expose it. He looked up at the sky. The sun is shining hotly. The morning dew dries up so quickly that it disappears completely within an hour after the sun comes out. In the ears, various insects and birds are singing, composing a symphony. Now, it's not even 6 o'clock, is it? Why does it feel like being illuminated by the midday sun? Here, located near the equator, the sun is very strong, and the temperature difference between day and night is also very large. It feels a little different from the geographical and climate distribution of the previous life. Who knows how big this planet is? How far is the sun? There are 3 moons. It's normal to be strange. Chapter 174. Along the roadside, unknown plants flourished. The caravan moved forward under the scorching sun, like a small black spot in a dense forest, moving slowly along a winding, narrow, intermittent route. Brother Dolu, is this the first time you have taken this road? A nimble green spirit jumped onto Will's carriage. Doru is an alias for Will. I heard that you can make a lot of money here, so I want to try it too. Will said with a smile, Master Barna, you have traveled this way many times? Please take care of me. Among us green elves, you are the one who transports the most goods, and you still need me to take care of you? Barna sat down beside Will, and took out a jug of wine. Fruity aromas in the jug. It is a kind of fruit wine. I'm here for the first time. I don't have any connections. I can only find some cheap and popular goods. Regardless of the quantity, I won't make much money. Will sighed. It is very difficult for green spirits to go directly into human gathering areas to buy things. Can only find acquaintances to buy. It is very difficult for a green spirit newcomer like Will to obtain precious goods. So don't look at the quantity, but the value is the least among a group of green spirits. Didn't you see that we only have 1 or 2 cars? If you get 7 or 8 cars, you won't be able to run in case of danger. Banner shook his head, and handed the flagon to Will. Barna is an old green spirit merchant who has been smuggling for many years. This year is 45 years old, which is equivalent to 70 years old if replaced by humans. This age can be said to be smuggling living fossils. But Barna wasn't a big deal either. He just followed the big army to eat some leftovers, and he did business with his head on his waist, earning hundreds of gold coins every year. It's a lot of money, but also very dangerous. It is said that he started to do business in Kola town at the age of 15. 30 years have passed, and the familiar people have changed from batch to batch. A few have earned enough and quit when they return home. Most of them died. Will was lucky to be able to join Barna's caravan. Master Barna, you are so old and earn enough money, why don't you go home and take care of yourselves? Will asked strangely. Isn't making money just to enjoy life? Barna has been in business for 30 years by stepping on the wire and licking the knife's edge, earning at least tens of thousands of gold coins. With so much money, he could live happily for 3 lifetimes. I really don't understand why he still has to come out for business. I have been doing business with my father since I was 5 years old, traveling between towns in my hometown. Barna began to tell his story. In 3 months, I earned a total of 172 gold coins, 17 silver coins and 6 copper coins. Will listened in silence. Did you know? Those are the most gold coins I've ever seen in my life, and I remember every single copper coin clearly. Barna's eyes were full of sadness, but you know? 10 fellow villagers, plus 1 there were 25 merchants in total, only 3 survived, the rest all died, and among my fellow villagers, I was the only one who survived. For the first time, he earned the largest sum of money in his life, but the price was that he wandered between life and death time and time again, and lost his companions, friends and comrades in arms. Only for 100 gold coins. 100 gold coins, if exchanged for RMB in the previous life, would be 1 million. It's enough for an ordinary family to live happily ever after. I distributed the money to the families of the deceased fellow villagers, and I still owed a lot of debts. As a last resort, I came to Keela town again. Barna shook his head. I don't think it's as dangerous as you said. In a business trip, only 3 of the 25 green spirits survived, so the casualty rate is too high, right? Haha, it's good to be young. Barna didn't blame Will. When we were young, we were just ordinary green elves. I didn't even draw a bow a few times, and most of the people who traveled with me were holding the fortune. It's just a little bastard of dreams. The green spirit is known as the son of the forest. But hunters who know how to hide, hunt, and poison are only a small part of the green spirits. Just like the human side, there are only a very small number of people who have practiced night breathing. Among the 30,000 troops in Kawa City, less than 1,000 have practiced breathing techniques. All knights and grand knights are from nobles. After joining the army, those who start from scratch and start to practice breathing techniques become stronger, and the highest level is only to reach the quasi-knight level. After all, practicing breathing method is to pay attention to age. Like professional players, don't they also have their physical peak period? Some people won the championship as soon as they debuted at the age of 16 or 17. Some people, who have worked hard all their lives, devoted their blood, sweat, youth, and health, are stuck in China and cannot even enter an international competition. Generally speaking, before the age of 16 is the best time to practice breathing. If you failed to reach the preparatory knight level at the age of 16, you will never want to become a knight in this life. It is one thing for ordinary people not to have access to the breathing method. Illiteracy is also one thing. Many low-level nobles in this world don't know a single big character. Among the children born to Baron Leo's mistress, many of Will's brothers and sisters could only write their own names. Even Baron Leo himself has a low level of knowledge. And Bana is not a nobleman. But he is the son of an ordinary merchant in the kingdom of Casta. Due to professional requirements, he knows a little bit better, and he is a little better at speaking than ordinary green spirits, but he has no force at all. Came to Kola town with my companion who dreamed of getting rich. It is only natural that one would pay such a heavy price without knowing the way and without guidance. My life is tied to the town of Kola. If I die, I will die on the way to Kola town. As he spoke, Bana took a few sips of his wine. I'm not as great as you. I just want to make a lot of money and go home and enjoy life. Will said. Haha, when I first came to Kola town, I also had the same thoughts as you. Bana patted Will on the shoulder. I bought a bunch of things like you, and walked along the road marked on the map, but I don't know, she is completely a fat sheep in the eyes of others. I'm not that weak. Will picked up the short bow at his waist and took out a short arrow from his back. This is a bow and arrow commonly used by the green spirits. It has a short range and low power, but it is fast and silent, so it is extremely difficult to find. Facing a bird standing on a branch not far away, the bird is feeding its chicks. Whoosh! The bird started up, fluttered in mid-air, and screamed at Will, the culprit. Your bow skills. Bana looked at Will inexplicably. It's a little rusty, I won't do it next time. Will rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment. Only he knew that the arrow passed the bird, sank into the lush green leaves, and nailed to the head of a poisonous snake coveting the bird. The snake was located among the dense green leaves, its figure was blocked, and it could not be seen from the outside at all. But Will still hits it. No matter how good your archery is, you can only shoot what you see. You can't see how to aim. Even if you want to predict the opponent's movement trajectory, you have to see the opponent's movement before and notice some clues. Otherwise, how do you know where the other party is hiding? And Will completely subverted this common sense. The figure of the poisonous snake hidden in the green leaves, in his eyes, has nothing to hide. Chapter 175. It may be what Will did, which is very similar to Bana when he was young. So along the way, Bana took good care of Will and told Will many stories about his youth. To smuggle goods from Kola town, in addition to worrying about robbers, beasts, and natural disasters, you must also pay attention to the officials of the kingdom of Casta. After all, on the surface of the Casta Empire, it is forbidden to communicate with humans. In fact, the human side also has a similar prohibition, but it is not enforced so strictly. Therefore, the caravan departing from Kola town cannot take the official road, but can only take the small road. Different caravans have their own trade routes. First transport the goods from Kora town to Mayurka city. Mayurka city is 100 kilometers away from Kola town, and it is a relatively loosely managed city. Many smuggling merchants like to unload their goods in Mayurka city. Bana and his party took this path. The city of Mayurka, which is also one of Will's destinations, is very close to the Ludoka mountains. Starting from Mayurka city, it only takes 5 days to reach the Torik mountains. If the speed is faster, the time can be shortened to 3 days. Doru, what are your plans after arriving in Mayurka city? Bana asked. After arriving in Mayurka city, I plan to continue northward to Gugwa City. Will replied. Aren't you going to act with us? Gugwa City is the largest trading city. If the goods are sold there, the price can be doubled. It is not worth selling in Mayurka City. Mayurka City has many vendors who buy smuggled goods. Prices are kept low. Only a little higher than the purchase price. And when they resell it, they can earn several times the gold coins. Money can't be earned, and the most important thing is to live. Bana persuaded, if you order goods in Mayurka City, you may earn a little less money, but it's also much safer. You have no way out. If you want to sell, people still don't buy it. I just want to make a profit, and I'll stop after that. Of course, the more I earn, the better. Will said with a smile. That's what I thought back then. Bana patted Will on the shoulder, if you repent that day, you can find me in Mayurka City, and I still have a few years to live. When the time comes, Master Barna, it's good that you don't dislike me. Will said. Will and Barna talk over drinks. Suddenly, the carriage at the front stopped. As the team leader, the backbone, and the most experienced person, Master Barna got out of the car and walked to the front immediately to check what went wrong. On the side of the road ahead, there were more than a dozen corpses of green spirits lying, exuding an unpleasant stench. Flies buzzed. In the rainforest, corpses decompose very quickly. Bana stepped forward to inspect the corpse. His face was ugly. It's Su. Among the small smugglers, Zaiwa was quite famous. Unlike Bana, a caravan formed by a few merchants temporarily, Zaiwa has his own subordinates, his own caravan, and his own shop. The green elves accompanying him are all experienced warriors. How can it be like Barna and his party? None of the two formally trained fighters. Just some stronger guards. Su was killed and the goods were taken. Is it a robber? No. Barna vetoed this point of view. He carefully inspected the corpses of Zaiwa and his party, and found that some corpses had been corroded by toxins, while others looked as if they had been run over by giant trees. Walking around, Bana picked up a scale. It's the scales of the green python in the forest. The opponent has a beast master. Bana's hands trembled. Beast masters appear as often as knights among the green elves. But the strength is far above the knights. Because all the strength of the beast master is in the contracted beasts, this caused a severe gap in the strength of the green elves. The human side has a clear promotion route for reserve knights, quasi-knights, knights, and grand knights. The strength gap between each stage is not very obvious. 3 or 5 knights, if they are well prepared, have a chance to kill a big knight head-on. And the beast master of the green spirit family. Before you became a beast master, Mao was not even an ordinary warrior. Strong mental power? Is that useful? Who can you beat? After finally becoming a beast master, contracted beasts are ordinary animals? How useful is it for combat? Ordinary animals have low IQ, can they understand your commands? Want to contract a powerful monster? Not to mention whether your mental strength is up to standard. The question is, how do you contract? Warcraft will lie there obediently and submit to you? A beast master without a contract beast can't even defeat an ordinary warrior. As a result, the strength gap between the beast masters is very large, almost one world at a time. There are powerful monsters, but they can do whatever they want. Why is there a beast master here? The green python in the forest is not something we can compete with. What to do? Master Barna? All the green spirits looked at Master Barna. This road was originally very safe. The roads are narrow and difficult to walk, and there are not many goods that can be transported. There are some ordinary robbers, as well as monsters and beasts, but the danger is not great. I didn't expect that there would be a beast master. I heard that a lot of troops have come to Makaro City recently. They are all elites, and there are many beast masters. Bana took a few sips from the jug. Master Bana, you mean those in the military? The green spirit who asked hesitated to speak. Let's go, just be careful. Bana returned to the convoy. It's a little dangerous, so I don't need to eat this meal. However, we'll notice that in the secret place, Banner carefully observed the surroundings, and after finding no one noticed, he whistled in a low voice, and a blackbird flew over and landed on Banner's palm. Beastmaster? Will asked in surprise. The blackbird kept pecking at Banner's palm, as if conveying some kind of message. After that, the convoy set off again. Barna sat back beside Will. Master Barna, aren't you worried? It's been 30 years, what haven't you seen? I'm going to die long ago. Bana said cheerfully. If it wasn't for Will's extraordinary perception, he would have been confused when he realized what Bana had just done. Without means, how can this kind of business be done for 30 years? Will understood in his heart, it seems that the Beast Master is not as simple as imagined. I don't know where Bana found such a bird. Its strength looks similar to that of an ordinary bird, but its intelligence is extremely amazing. Even ordinary communication can be carried out. Innate spiritual wisdom, coupled with years of teaching by Bana, is it possible to behave like this? Afterwards, they encountered many convoys that were robbed. The green elves in the convoy had serious faces along the way, almost giving up their cargo and returning to Kola town. With Bana's insistence and persuasion, the convoy came to Makaro without any risk. Looking at the city gate of Makaro, Bana wiped the sweat from his forehead. The degree of danger of the 12-day journey was also rare in his 30-year career. The rest of the green spirits also showed expressions of survivors after a catastrophe. 12 days. Will, on the other hand, felt that it still took too much time. The reason why they were able to walk down without any risk was that Bana's contracted beast had naturally played a huge role. What's more, Will made a move. Will secretly solved many robbers, including 2 beast masters. Based on this, it has been 14 days since we left Kava City. Will silently calculated in his heart, if nothing happens, we will be able to reach the Ludoka Mountains in at most 5 days. It took 19 days to obtain 11 high-level magic stones, which is not a bad harvest. In fact, it is possible to speed up the speed. But to be on the safe side, Will chose the current method. Chapter 176. Will followed the convoy towards the city gate. This time, the guards at the city gate checked very closely. He didn't even give Bana any favors or face. Bana smiled apologetically by the guard, and stuffed handfuls of gold coins, but they were of little use. The cargo was still pried open for inspection. During the inspection process, they were taken away a lot. Will's 7 carts of goods, after inspection and reloading, became 5 carts, 2 of which evaporated inexplicably. Like a timid businessman, Will is submissive and dare not complain. He also secretly stuffed gold coins for the guards, handed them wine, apologized, and made a familiar face. Will lowered his head and secretly glanced around. Because there is an inexplicable sense of crisis in my heart, I dare not use life synchronization, perception, and eye of reality, for fear of being discovered. Soon, he discovered the anomaly. There are many guards at the city gate, and the interrogation is very strict. These can all be explained. But there is a beast master? 5 in total? When did the beast master become so worthless? Actually sent to guard the gate? Something must have happened in Mayurka. Be careful. Will was secretly vigilant. I originally thought that the dangers and troubles on the road mainly came from monsters, but I didn't expect the green spirit to join in. Hope it has nothing to do with me. Will doesn't want trouble, nor is he afraid of trouble. His hard power is still very strong now, and there are few opponents among the third-tier apprentices. According to the reliable information obtained from the academy, there is only one spiritual teacher of the Green Spirit family, who has been stationed in the royal palace of the Kasta kingdom. As long as the spiritual master doesn't make a move, although he is not invincible in the Green Spirit's territory, there is no problem in saving his life. Will glanced furtively at the box. The box containing Susha, Im and Franlo was not noticed by the Green Spirit. Because they all used breath weakening. If the Beast Master had opened the box and inspected it himself, he might have found it. Ordinary soldiers, Susha and the 3 stood in front of them, and they couldn't detect it. After checking, the convoy successfully entered the city of Mayurka. On the street, from time to time, an army of green elves walked by on patrol. Just by looking at their expressions, steps, and equipment, you can tell that these patrols are all elites in the military. Master Bana, didn't you say that Mayurka is a city with loose management and relatively chaotic order? It doesn't look like this at all. Will felt as if he had walked into a military fortress. Oh, I don't know either. I did receive a message before, saying, Master June, what can you do? Master Barna suddenly smiled obsequiously. A few green spirit patrols surrounded them, knocking on the convoy's cargo. What are you guys? Asked the green goblin patrolman. It's just a small business. Master Barna stuffed a handful of gold coins in the past, and at the same time took out a black iron plate, and waved it secretly in front of the patrol team. The other party received the gold coins, and after seeing the token in Bana's hand, his expression improved a lot. "Open it up and take a look," said the patrol member, knocking on one of the cars. "This? After being stared at by the other party, Bana immediately lost his temper. A green spirit in the convoy turned pale, winked at Master Barna, and looked at Master Barna beseechingly. Barna sighed and told someone to open the box. In the box, there are exquisite porcelain one by one. After careful inspection, the patrol team finally let the convoy go. "Yes, no problem, let's go." "Thank you, big brothers and masters." Whether it was Bana or the pale green spirit, they could only show a thankful smile. "How painful my heart is, how many tears I shed, I can only hold back." As for the several exquisite porcelains held by each member of the patrol team, no one dared to say a word. At this time, several trucks passed by Will and his convoy quickly. The driver obviously saw what happened to Will and the others, and wanted to leave quickly while the patrol team was focusing on Will and the others. "Run so fast? Is there a ghost in your heart? Stop!" The patrol stopped the other party at once. "Master Jun, I'm just a dutiful businessman. There is absolutely nothing wrong with my stuff. Please let me go." A fat green spirit hugged the thigh of a patrol member and cried. At the same time, he reluctantly took out the bag containing the gold coins. "We are inspecting suspicious people as instructed. I think you are very problematic, little ones, open his goods." "No, Master Jun, you pity me." The fat businessman wanted to put the money bag into the opponent's hand, but was slapped away. The money bag fell to the floor. Gold coins rolled out of the mouth of the bag with a crisp sound. The shining gold coins fell to the ground one after another, but none of the green spirits dared to pick them up. All the green spirits lowered their heads and left quickly. In the desperate eyes of the fat businessman, his box was pried open, and the goods were thrown, dropped, trampled, and completely destroyed. The patrol left, talking and laughing. The fat businessman was left squatting on the ground, and after a long time, when the patrol team could not be seen at all, he cried out wailingly. Bana shook his head and whispered in Will's ear, "Sometimes, the other party is willing to take your money because they think highly of you." Will nodded thoughtfully. He remembered an old saying. "Thieves pass like a comb, soldiers pass like a grate." In the past, he was still skeptical about this sentence. In his impression, soldiers should serve the country and the people, have strict discipline, and don't treat ordinary people with stitches and threads. How could it be more vicious than a thief? Now I finally understand a little bit. Afterwards, Will and the others met other patrols, inspection teams, police officers. The goods are constantly decreasing, and there are only 2 cars left of Will's 5 cars. Their condition is still good. Along the way, I couldn't see many things not only disappeared, but people were also arrested. Some didn't even resist, and were beaten to death on the spot just because their faces were a little impatient. After many checkpoints, finally entered the inner city. After arriving in the inner city, the inspections suddenly became much less. The convoy came to the hotel. After resting, eating, and washing, the sky began to get dark. "I will go to sell the goods tomorrow," but all the green elves in the convoy, except Will and Bana, all the green elves look like their dead parents, crying. But dare not have any complaints. Don't even dare to speak in private. Who knows if the walls have ears? If the money is gone, you can earn more money, if your life is gone, you have nothing. After busy work, Will went to his room to rest early on the grounds that he was tired. The other green elves in the caravan also went to rest. Kora town is just a transit point, and Will joined in midway. It took Bana and the others almost 3 months from departure to the human gathering place, to transporting things back to Mayurka city, and back and forth. Always in a state of tension. Both physically and mentally exhausted. After finally arriving in the city of Mayurka, he was still being exploited layer upon layer. This business must have lost money. Originally, I made an appointment to have a good time and rest after arriving in Mayurka city, but how can I still be in that mood now? They all went to bed obediently. Chapter 177. In the room. Susha, Im and Franlo ate black bread and drank fruit wine. Susha frowned slightly, obviously not used to eating. Im's expression is still the same, it hasn't changed a bit in 10,000 years. Franro gnawed on the black bread, his face was very ugly, and at the same time he stared at Will unkindly. Of the three of them, Susha is a princess, and Will and Franlo have never asked about their identities, but they must have a lot of background. There are three people with such a big background and such powerful strength. Along the way, being ordered and drank by Will, eating poor quality food, and locked in a small airtight box, can you not have complaints in your heart? The three of them had never experienced a real adventure at all. In their impression, adventure should be full of thrills and excitement. How can you be so cautious and hide like now? Boring, dirty, uncomfortable. They all suspect that Will is deliberately messing with them from time to time. Along the way, they complained to Will many times. Recently, the city of Majorca is a bit abnormal. Be quiet and don't wander around. Get a good rest tonight. We will leave early tomorrow morning. Will went out and closed the door. He also didn't want to keep looking at people's faces. It's no wonder that each of them has an excellent family background and has never been short of magic stones since childhood. How can it be like we are busy earning magic stones all day long? Doing missions in various dangerous places? For the mission, for the magic stone, what's the point of staying in the pile of maggots and carrion for a few days? Safety, speed, and harvest are the most important. But obviously, Susha and the other three didn't think so. They have deep blood, rich family background, and amazing talent. They have already become third-class apprentices at a young age, and they are expected to be official wizards in the future. They are diligent, hard-working. The combination of family background, talent, and hard work has made them have the current achievements. In order to become stronger, they can pay an unimaginable price for ordinary people. But let them swallow a caterpillar? Take a piss? Feel sorry? I reject. Is it the arrogance of genius, the aristocratic temperament, or the self-confidence of strength? They are strong, they work hard, they are not greenhouse flowers without combat experience. On the contrary, each of the three of them has experienced life and death battles, but from the three of Susha, Will always felt that something was missing. Sitting on the branch of a big tree next to the hotel, Will gazed into the distance. In his eyes, the city of Majorca was unobstructed. The green spirit who hurried past, the green spirit with a sad face, the green spirit who was drunk and vomiting, the green spirit who was blackmailing. Is this the city of the green elves? What's the difference between them and us humans? Will was confused. He has always been extremely hostile to other races except humans. Think of humans as superior creatures. He wants to lead mankind to stand at the top of the food chain and become the real-world hegemon. But after a 12-day journey with Bana, looking at the various green spirits in Majorca City, he seemed to see the human beings themselves, and found that the so-called green spirits were just human beings in a different form. The difference is not as big as expected. Before, the reason why green spirits could be regarded as livestock. That's because he doesn't understand green spirits and has never been in contact with green spirits. After he learned the language of the green elves, lived with the green elves, and saw the righteous and dirty sides of the green elves, the heart that I thought was rock solid before was shaken. Just like the story of King Xian of Qi trading sheep for cattle during the Warring States period. Seeing the cow as a sacrifice with his own eyes, he felt that the cow was pitiful, so he couldn't bear it, so he changed the sacrifice from a cow to a sheep. But aren't sheep pitiful? The reason for this feeling is purely because of the distance. Distance produces both beauty and evil. Without contact, without seeing it with your own eyes, you can be cold, ruthless, and slaughter the world with your keyboard. When standing on the battlefield, when watching people fall in front of you with blood splattered. I'm afraid I can't hold on for even a second. Hey, Brother Doru, what are you doing here? At some point, Bana also climbed up and sat beside Will. Will glanced at Barna. Banner is 45 years old this year, considered an advanced age among the green elves. His skin was wrinkled, his teeth were sparse, his eyes were dull, and the white down on his head was sparse. Just a little confused. Will looked up into the distance. In the eyes, there are only countless dense forests surging in the dark night. Is it because of today's incident? Bana also felt something in his heart. This is what business is like. You will always encounter various things. You have to learn to be patient and grow. You still have a long way to go. Grow up? Did he really not grow up? Is it time to abandon those naive thoughts in his heart? Are you short of money? If the amount is not much, I can lend you some, but you have to pay it back. I'm not short of money. I've already seen that you are not an ordinary green spirit. Did some big family come out looking for excitement? Barna seemed to have expected Will's answer like this. My family is just a low-level nobleman, but they don't have to worry about food or clothing. Will thought of his hometown. For some reason, all kinds of thoughts about the past life have faded a lot. When one mentions his hometown, what immediately comes to mind is not the relatives in his hometown in his previous life, but his wife and children in Albert Castle. Hey, don't be so lost. Master Barna stood up on the branch. Come on, I'll take you to play and relax. Drink wine? Among the green spirits, besides toxins, bows and arrows, and beast control, the most famous one is wine. Especially the mincemeat wine is unique in the world. In the territory of the green elves, it can only be regarded as the first-class mince wine, but in the territory of the human side, it can be called a peerless delicacy. Now Will's heart is a little confused and tangled, and he just wants to drink and indulge. He knew that this kind of thinking was very bad. Definitely not the way it should be done right now. But his heart is really a little tired, and he is not so rational anymore. You'll know when you come with me. Barna smiled wretchedly. Following Barna, Will came to the prosperous streets in the center of the city. Green spirits come and go on the street. Crying, laughing, dancing. Those who set up stalls, sell songs, and play. There is no excitement. By the roadside, a few green spirits are attracting customers with heavy makeup. The female green spirit is petite, with soft skin, exuding a natural fragrance all over her body, and her face is similar to that of a human being. If you look closely, it has a special flavor. Will was thinking about whether he should find a few to play with. Barna led Will through Flower Street and arrived at a more secret place. The more you walk around, the more remote and quiet you will be. If it wasn't for Barna leading the way, Will would never have imagined that there would be such a remote place in such a prosperous town. Master Barna, where are we going? From Barna, Will felt no hostility. Hey, you'll know when we get there. Barna smiled and quickened his pace. 9 twists and 18 folds. After turning one corner after another, the eyes suddenly opened up. The lights are bright and the sound is loud. Drums, zithers, and flutes are accompanied by various music. There are people coming and going inside, beautiful women wearing revealing clothes, walking around among the green spirits. This is... No wonder Will was surprised to see humans in the green elf territory. A closer look revealed that they were all women. Moreover, there are various skin colors, including white and black, and they should come from different regions, not from the Amona Empire. It's just that everyone wears a collar around their necks and shackles on their feet. Are you surprised? Haven't you seen so many beautiful human beings? Barna gasped and whispered in Will's ear. Where did they come from? Will lowered his head so that the other green elves couldn't see his eyes. They were all bought from Nanhuang at a huge price. I managed to get 2 invitations, so don't waste them. Barna laughed. You like human girls? Will asked strangely. Although human girls can't compare with the beauties of our green elves, they are in good shape. Will stood there stunned. Look up at the night sky. The moon hangs high in the sky, and the cold moonlight pours into the world. Chapter 178. Stretch out 10 fingers. The moonlight is like running water, flowing through the fingers. His heart is as clear as water and as serene as a mirror. His eyes swept around and landed on a girl in revealing clothes. Eyes are clear, without a trace of impurities. Looking at the smiling beauties serving the green spirit wholeheartedly, the calm lake in Will's heart stirred up a little bit of ripples. Is it a collar? There must be something wrong with the collar around the girl's neck. But it is impossible for him to take it off and check it. Will took the wine glass and approached the girls, as if he was picking out the beauties. Choose a woman, avoid the crowd, and come to a remote place. After making sure there are no green spirits around. Perception. Clarity. Life synchronization. In an instant, a clear and realistic 3D human body model appeared in Will's mind. As Will observes and understands the target, the model of the human body becomes more and more realistic, and the movements and expressions gradually become synchronized with the real one. With the continuous analysis of the target dissection. Countless data tumbling in my mind. Body data. Action expression data. Vitality fluctuates. Mental mood changes. As more and more data is collected, the body structure, vitality, and mental emotions of the 3D model in the mind become the same as real people. Then, Analyze the 3D model layer by layer. Muscles, blood vessels, skeleton, nerves, hormones. Will felt that his mental power was being consumed rapidly, but within a minute, his vision became blurred. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. He had touched the core, but... Isn't it possible? The data obtained only by external observation is still too shallow. If you put a person on the operating table and spend a few days studying it carefully, you might be able to figure out what's going on. Hey? At this time, Will noticed a slight loosening of the life synchronization skill. Blue Spirit. Sure enough, it was discovered that the life synchronization skill could be advanced. It just so happened that I got some source power these days. The source power is still very little, but it is enough to upgrade the life synchronization. He raised his life synchronization to level 5 in one breath. The 3D model in my mind suddenly shattered. Then reassemble, break, and reassemble. After repeating this 7 times, the 3D model of the human body finally stabilized. According to his idea, the 3D model is continuously broken down. Clothes, hair, skin, muscles. Then there are relatively abstract vitality, spiritual power, etc. Is it the method of the Beast Master? The Beast Master of the Green Spirit family can only contract animals and plants with relatively low intelligence. It's actually possible to contract humans through props? Will was shocked. It doesn't seem to be a contract, it's just a little bit of control. This contract collar must have a limit. The control, operation, and principle must be very troublesome, and it will not be easy for people to guess. Will has guessed a little bit about the principle, but it is still too vague and messy to sort out. Beast Master, is there such a use? There was anger, hatred, and curiosity in his eyes. Although Will still can't fully understand the principle, and can't help to unravel it, he can already listen to the other person's true thoughts. Fear, despair, crying. Countless negative emotions flooded Will's mind. In this courtyard where every green spirit has a smile on their face, there are countless negative and dark emotions. Many of them are green spirits. But more human. Being trafficked, controlled by brainwashing, and abused by green spirits, the despair and resentment in his heart far exceeded Will's imagination. Looking at the girl in front of him with a flattering smile, Will felt a chill in his heart. How can they not completely control the mind? Can they still hear, touch, smell? Can they still think? This situation, is it good? Is it bad? If he had to choose, he would definitely choose the latter. Consciousness proves that there is still a chance of resistance, even if it is slim. But there is no doubt that the pain will be magnified countless times. Will quickly distanced himself from the girl and walked to another remote corner. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, calm your mind, and just want to touch the ability. Hey? The yard is huge. The place where he is now is just the periphery, and it is used to entertain some low-status guests like Bana. The real distinguished guests enjoy themselves in the luxurious hall. The range of perception is expanded. The scene in my mind became relatively blurred, but there were more and more scenes and creatures. The well-dressed green spirit, the feast of the human body on the dining table, the broken limbs in the secret room, the tragic scream of the girl. All things are gone. Will sat down against the trunk and looked up at the sky. Under the blue sky, all life is so insignificant. Why don't we discuss the vastness of the universe and the infinity of the sky? Science, philosophy, theology, there are too many philosophical things waiting for me to explore. However, no matter how he puts his body and mind into the universe, that hellish scene was deeply engraved in his mind and could never be erased. I am human after all. After an hour. Brother Dolu, why are you sitting here alone in a daze? Isn't it fun? Bana came to Will with a tired face. Forget it, I'm not interested. Will frowned. Isn't it? Don't tell me you're young? As he said, Bana's eyes fixed on Will's crotch. No, I'm very healthy. Will pursed his lips, as if he was very angry at Bana for misunderstanding him. I still like green girls. After shaking his head a few times in disgust, Will said, he has a strong body, and the unpleasant smell that perfume can't hide? It's disgusting. You missed a good opportunity. Bana didn't know what to say. I know. Will suddenly shut up, looked around guiltily, and was relieved when he found that no one paid attention to his words. Be more worried about what you say in the future. Bana reprimanded Willow. Got it. Will approached Barna. Master Barna? No problem. Are you going with me? I'm getting old. Bana put his hands on his waist and said exhaustedly. Forget it, the city of Mallorca has been a bit chaotic recently, and I don't dare to wander around without Master Barna leading the way. Will showed a timid expression. I don't know whether to say you are timid or bold. Bana was speechless. Let's say Will is timid. He can't even play a bow and arrow very well. He dared to take the smuggling route of Kola town alone without any experience. If I hadn't met him, I don't know how many times I would have died. Let's talk about being bold, but most of the time he is timid and too cautious, even he can't stand it. Chapter 179. Bana glanced around, there were several acquaintances waiting for him. This is an invitation he finally got, and playing is just one of the inconspicuous items. What really matters is making friends and expanding your network. The green spirits who can come here today are all from the upper reaches of Makaro City. Every time you know one more, it will be of great use to future development. Let me introduce to you. Bana pulled Will and was about to speak. Master Barna, I have decided to leave early tomorrow morning. Will said seriously. Hey? So suddenly? Bana asked in surprise. I found that I am not suitable for this bowl of rice. It is still too early for me to take the smuggling route of Kola town. It is still the same as before. I can do ordinary business and make not much money, but the advantage is you are safe and happy, and your family members don't have to worry. Will said sincerely. Barna took a good look at Will. Stop thinking about it. He is very optimistic about Will and intends to train Will as his heir. He believed in his own vision, knowing that Will would be able to surpass him. Bana was already a big figure in Makaro City, and it was too late for others to fawn on him. Unexpectedly, Will could stick to his heart and retreat bravely. Me, just earn a little money and live a peaceful life. Will said. Since you've decided, it's hard for me to say anything. Bana handed a token made of black iron to Will. It's my farewell gift to you, and you can use it when you come to Makaro City. Come find me. Master Barna, isn't it good? Will could see the importance of this token. I'm getting old, and this token won't last long in my hands, so you don't have to be polite. Bana patted Will on the back fiercely. You go back and have a good rest, get enough energy tomorrow, let's go. Yet. Will nodded heavily. Looking at the back of Will leaving, Bana sighed. Glancing around, he locked onto a green queen. Immediately, his face was full of smiles again, and he walked towards a fat green spirit not far away who was holding a wine glass and smiling all over his face. Boss Webb, long time no see. Walk on the prosperous streets. Green spirits passed him by one. Will's face seemed peaceful, but his heart was tumbling violently like boiling tap water. Walk aimlessly. Countless thoughts were entangled and smashed together in his mind, and the reasoning was still chaotic. Let me go. A choked voice came into Will's mouth. Only then did he wake up from his stupor. Looking around, the messy branches, the earth wall covered with moss, the dim moonlight, a strange scene. Hee, it's just my first visit to Makaroth City. Isn't it natural that I feel strange? Will smiled self-deprecatingly. When he was thinking about finding his way back to the hotel, the low, choked voice sounded again. Don't, please, woo. A girl was crying, begging for help. At the same time, several men's threatening voices were heard. The body moved reflexively. Will sprinted towards the source of the sound. What came into view was a petite green spirit who was forced to the corner of the wall, disheveled and crying. And 3 male green spirits with wretched faces and half of their clothes off. The body moves. Snapped. 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 The 3 green hooligans went limp, lost consciousness, and collapsed to the ground. Will didn't kill them. At this stage, he doesn't want to attract the attention of other green spirits. And whether the green spirit is a good guy or a bad guy, it doesn't make any sense to him. They are all objects that need to be eliminated. Looking at the 3 green hooligans lying on the ground, Will shook his head, but he couldn't feel the pleasure of helping others. Let's go. Will turned around and was about to leave. Thank you. The green essence who was rescued by him pulled Will's trousers. My lord, how should I thank you? The body structure and appearance of green spirits are very similar to those of humans. It's just that the green spirit is relatively short in stature, with a green complexion, smooth skin, and no pores. The hair is white fluff, sparse and soft. I don't know if it's because of living in the woods for a long time, but every green spirit's body exudes a refreshing and comfortable smell of nature. The female green spirit in front of her is considered a beauty among the green spirit clan. It is also quite in line with human aesthetics. Who are you? My name is Shankara. The girl stood up, staring at Will nervously. Don't go to this kind of place at night in the future. Yes, it is. Shankara's expression was tense, and there was a hint of anxiety in her eyes. Will glanced at Shankara, then glanced at the three green spirits lying on the ground, frowned and said, You know them? Did you come here with them voluntarily? For Shankara, who has weak mental strength and has not received special training, he can see through the thoughts in his heart at a glance. Do I have mind-reading skills? Clarity, perception, and life synchronization, coupled with the mental power of a third-class apprentice, and the life control power of a paladin, can see the essence through appearances. It is also reasonable to read the thoughts of some weak people. I'm still no match for Aitana. Will was impressed by Aitana's mind-reading skills. At that time, his physique, vitality, and spiritual power were all above Aitana. But Aitana easily read the thoughts in her heart. And what he can read now is only the minds of some people whose mental strength is far weaker than his. The huge gap between it and Aitana's mind-reading ability is visible to the naked eye. Talent is such a thing, it's hard to see at a glance. Seeing Will's eyes wandering, he remained silent. Shankara gritted her teeth, clenched her fists, and made a major decision. My younger brother is sick and has no money to see a doctor. They say there are cheap local doctors here. How old are you? Don't you know them? Are you still caught in this kind of inferior deception? If it's a stranger, it's fine, and you were deceived by a few gangsters who knew everything about it. Is it messy to care about? I'm 7 years old, not too young. Shankara said a few words in a low voice, and then said again, My lord, please save my brother, no matter what price I have to pay. At any price? Will gave her a deep look. Shankara trembled, took a few steps back, and finally held back. Let's go. Ah? Where are you going? Shankara blinked and blinked, trying to say something, but she didn't dare. See a doctor? How can I treat your brother here? Will glanced at Shankara. I will lead the way. Shankara was blushing, bouncing up and down, walking ahead excitedly. Not long. Shankara took Will to a remote area in Makaro city. Dirty gutters, collapsed earthen walls, and leaky houses. Go inside. 7 or 8 children came up at once. Sister Shankara. Sister, you are finally back. Who is he? Shankara has many younger siblings. It looks like they have very different faces, and it doesn't look like they are related by blood. I didn't see my parents or elders either. 7-year-old Shankara was the oldest of the group. So what? He was not interested in Shankara's family, he was only here for medical treatment. Get over and leave. Chapter 180. Shankara introduces her siblings to Will one by one. Will couldn't remember any of the children's names. Facing the guy who will eventually become an enemy, and deepening the relationship, the only thing you get is endless pain. Shankara saw Will's impatience. After briefly introducing the name, she brought Will to the bedside. A thin green spirit kid was lying on a simple bed made of withered grass. The dry grass was dry and soft, making it very comfortable to lie on. It's just a high fever. With just one glance, Will could see the cause of the other party. In this world of supernatural powers, there are many medicines with magical powers. After the medicine is processed into potions, it can have magical effects that ordinary people can't imagine. A bottle of ordinary potion can cost tens of millions in the technologically advanced world of the previous life. The strong don't get sick easily. When you are sick, there are many ways to treat it. The question is, what to do with the people at the bottom? Extraordinary power? Sorry, 90% of people have never even heard of the name breathing method. Magic potion? Not to mention potions, ordinary people can't even afford the raw materials. Therefore, in this world similar to the Middle Ages, for 99% of the people at the bottom, fever is a fatal disease. Will doesn't want to reveal his identity. As for the power of the wizard, you can use it if you can. He opened the small bag he carried with him. A few silver needles were inserted, and the high fever subsided temporarily. My lord, thank you so much, thank you. Shankara kept kowtowing to Will, her forehead was covered with mud. Her younger brothers and sisters, who were initially offended by Will's arrogance, also sent words of thanks to Will. The high fever is only suppressed temporarily, it has not been cured yet. Then what to do? Will wrote a prescription and handed it to Shankara. Seeing Shankara take the prescription with a dazed expression, his face full of confusion, he only reacted at this time. I can't read? Shankara saw that the family environment was not very good. There were so many younger siblings to take care of, and even having enough food was a problem. How could there be extra time and money to learn to read? Will understands, but it's so troublesome. My lord, what did I do wrong? Shankara looked at Will anxiously. Will had already considered Shankara's family situation. Therefore, the Chinese medicinal materials he prescribed for Shankara are all relatively cheap, and some of them are similar to weeds. In the big jungle where the green spirits live, it is very easy to gather together. So when he described the medicinal materials to Shankara one by one, it didn't take long to gather the medicinal materials. After that, Will taught her how to make medicine and how to take care of patients. When everything came to an end, several hours had passed. Shankara walks Will to the door. If you have a fever again in the future, you can make this potion, but remember, it's just an earthen prescription, and it can only be used in desperate situations. If you have money, it's more reliable to find a regular doctor. Will asked. Yes. Your brother's fever hasn't completely healed yet. For the next 3 days, he still needs to rest well and drink a bowl of medicine every morning, noon, and evening. Ahoy! Also, it doesn't matter if the potion is known to other green spirits. My lord, You don't have to thank me, I have indeed received your price. What is your name? Doru. A gust of wind blows. The rising dust blinded Shankara's eyes. It was only a moment, but when the scene in front of her was clear again, Will's figure had already disappeared. Shankara lowered her head in frustration, stroking her hands covered with mud and black charcoal. She lingered in front of the door for a long time, until her siblings came out to surround her, and the smile on her face bloomed again. Watching Shankara walking into the house surrounded by her younger siblings, Will felt mixed emotions. The so-called green spirits are no different from human beings. They have love, hate, despicable behaviors, noble hearts, respectable ones, and shameless ones, but look up at the moon in the sky. Just like millions of years ago, it shines on the world. Green spirits also have family members, friends, and lovers. They live like humans. Keeping it. Will also felt pain in his heart to destroy such a life. Also cry. But his heart will not be shaken anymore. For humanity, for justice, for peace, small sacrifices are necessary. Will's eyes were firm, and his right hand made a sign of the cross on his chest. All evils come to me. The next day. Early in the morning, Will pulled the only 3 carts left. Facing the morning breeze. In the crisp sound of horseshoes, we set off. Barna was too late and too tired last night to wake up, so he couldn't come out to give Will a lift. Not long after the carriage left the city, Susha, and Franro jumped out of the carriage immediately. Will looked displeased. You can still clearly see the city wall of Makaro city behind you. Jumping out from this position, it is easy to be spotted. The 3 princesses don't care so much. In their view, with the strength of the 3 of them, it is impossible to be discovered. Even if the green spirit finds out, it's not a big deal. After that, head all the way to the Ludoka Mountains. Almost no one listened to Will's suggestion. Encountered a World of Warcraft site? Kill the past. The road ahead is complicated. Break through. Are there green goblins on patrol? Turn on the skill breath weakening and walk over. Troubles came one after another, and on several occasions they even got in touch with the green spirit. Originally planned to leave Makaro city, the 5-day journey was completed in 5 days. Although there are countless troubles. But that's only in Will's eyes. Deter and kill monsters, of course it is easier to kill monsters. Hiding in the dirty and smelly mud, and being discovered by the green spirits, wouldn't it be good to kill the green spirits who saw them? Easy to be found by taking the road? Hurry up soon. Will found that the adventure in his heart and the 3 princesses' understanding of adventure were really different, and they were playing 2 games. He played Assassin's Creed, Stealth, Sneak Attack, Assassination. The 3 of them were playing City Massacre Creed. Kill, kill, kill. Come to kill 1, come to kill 2, and the people who come to one city will also be killed. How about self-confidence? Still ignorant? During this period, they had many quarrels. A few times, Franro was about to make a move, wanting to teach Will, who was not big or small, unwilling to kneel and lick. Why should a noble and powerful third-class wizard listen to the command of a second-class apprentice? Every time, Princess Susha came out to smooth things over, and then warned Will, saying, "You have little experience, you should listen to us at this time." Will stands on a cliff in the Ludoka Mountains. Clothes rattled as the wind blew. Under his full force, the golden pupils emitted a dazzling golden light. The invisible coercion was released centered on Will. The three Susha standing behind him completely ignored the coercion of the eye of reality. Turning the distance of thousands of meters into nothingness, the fog in the forest couldn't block his sight. The sight in his eyes became clearer and clearer. In my mind, a 3D map of the Toluca Mountains gradually took shape.